And as we start this new episode, Jamal, always bringing race up. That shit doesn't fly here, bro. If you want to contribute, contribute. So, all right. So, welcome to Debate the News, folks. So, if you guys are here in the audience, download the podcast, follow podcast. Usually, it's whatever. Download the podcast. That's. I'll start with that. All right. But yeah, the disrespect, it's crazy. The back and forth is crazy. On a recorded show. Scott, what were you saying now?
Uh, yeah, I just want to apologize for telling Allie to shut the f up like that. I mean, it's not an excuse, but it's kind of like a joke on some of the times we're in my room. But yeah, that didn't come across well, so I apologize. Take full accountability.
Go ahead, Pac Man. P Man. P Man, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I love all races.
Okay. All right, no problem. Yeah, guys. Yeah, I've probably gotten 7 text messages about the exchanges that happened tonight. And this is what it is. We have co-hosts here. There's your trusted co-host who's supposed to moderate this thing. Like, okay, whatever. And then when you leave, your trusted co-hosts, they aren't moderating this. Got messages about all kinds of stuff.
Excuse me, Jonathan, to be fair, some of this tonight was not able to be moderated. It was just totally out of control. Like, I can come off mic and yell at people, but if they're not going to listen, it's pointless. I just add to the confusion.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounded like the culture we're trying to get away from on the other platform. So, yeah, folks. Yeah, there's a huge disappointment, and I'm still receiving text messages. I'm still receiving text messages from people telling me how awful it was. But we got all these people. Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm not gonna co-host so many people. I don't need this many people co-host it because you guys aren't doing shit with it anyway. Let's see some three, 8 rows of co-hosts, and this bullshit happened. That's fine. So, so anyway, guys, we're speaking about immigration, and we go from immigration to a ton of personal insults. Yeah, like I said, if
And now
anyone
it's all real. And now it's all weird.
shouldn't be weird
It
because
shouldn't. Yeah, it
because
shouldn't
because
be.
it's crazy as hell. It's like I don't know.
The
I'm hearing
persons
that.
that you have co-hosted is the ones that's leading the personal insults, Jonathan. The people that you have co-hosted are the people that's kicking people to the
Okay,
goo, and those are the people that's
be
Not
leading the
all of
personal
us,
insults.
TC.
So,
careful on that other
so,
side
so,
because
so, if you look at
Uh-uh.
it, the people that were contributing to this shit are the co-hosts themselves. That's your problem,
Let me
Jonathan.
be very clear. You attacked me,
Excuse me.
I'm
I'm
going to
not.
attack you
Nobody's
back,
talking to
period. And
you.
you're going to get dragged all night
Nobody's
when
talking to
you do
you.
it.
No, no,
And
no,
that's the
no,
bottom
no.
line.
No, but we're not doing that on this stage. You guys can do it privately. Okay, you guys can have your back and forth, but you guys aren't doing this on the stage.
Right. He shouldn't
Okay,
attack me on
Nobody
I'm
stage.
not.
He
even
attacked
brought
me
your
in bed. I'm
name
going to
up.
attack him
How
in
do
Listen,
you
bed.
listen.
get
What?
attacked?
No,
Nobody.
one second, Michelle. Respectfully, TCU, whatever. You know, I respect the hell out of you, but you guys aren't going to drag the brand down and make that what we're putting out to the public. That's not going to happen here. That's not what we're putting out to the public.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely not trying to do that. I gave commentary about what we were talking about. Then he came in insulting and attacking me, and I responded in kind.
How
So
did
if
I
he doesn't
insult
want
and
to attack
attack
me
you?
on the
Name
stage,
one
then he won't
insult
get
or
attacked,
attack that I
period.
gave you when you spoke. You're a liar. I did not insult
Yo,
you.
bro, TC,
You are the one that called
we're
me a
not going back to that.
dumbass.
TC, we're not going back to that temperature because I don't want to boot from over there in here, bro. Let's not do that. Go ahead. If you want to talk, talk, but we're not going back to that temperature. I'm not on the TC stage. If I was on the TC stage, you can do what you want on the TC stage. That's not happening here.
Good. Then I suggest you get your co-host in order, Jonathan, because you complaining about this shit. They're the ones that's contributed. They're the ones that's creating this shit.
Why are you talking to
Excuse me.
Jonathan
Did
that
anybody
way?
bring your name
You need to
up?
take
This is between two
it
grown
down a
men.
notch or two.
You don't need. We
You
don't
need to
need
take it
your
down a notch or
opinion.
two because, yeah, you need to take it down a notch or two because once again, I'm not going to meet you there. I'm going to remedy the problem. I'm not going to meet you there.
Jonathan, when you leave, TC has a tendency to take over
Oh
all the
my God, the
conversation,
liberals. Okay, so
and it's just
you guys
weird
are
at
gonna
times.
just
No, let
constantly
me
circle the
finish.
Listen,
wagons
I
and
don't want to.
shit.
It's fine.
This is
We're
this
not
is
going to do
this
it.
is what I have to do. I have to fucking
We're
defend
not going to
myself in these
spotlight
rooms
and
against you
highlight.
liberal
Call it.
hacks.
Yo, bro, TC. Once again, I'm not going to ask for respect on my stage. I'm not. I refuse to. I'm going to take it. Okay, that's that. And that's all I have to say about that.
Then tell them to keep my name out of their mouth.
So
I will defend
don't tell me
myself if
what to
I
do.
have to,
Once
Jonathan.
again.
I don't need your permission.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, Jonathan, this is your stage. You got
Yeah,
this is your house,
I'm about
right?
to, like I said, I'm going to have to
Yeah.
remedy this right here. Remove from room. All right. Can someone help me with that over there? Remove this. Remove from room. There. All right. That's one thing I love about over there. Once you remove someone, they can't come back in. All right. So there you go. All right. So once again, all right. If you guys want to talk about ice, we can talk about ice. You guys want to talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about, we can talk about it. If not, we can shut it down. I have no problem.
I'm interested. I came in because of the title of the room. I'm interested. I'm interested in see what
Yeah,
happened here.
that's why it's a very interesting title that deserves a lot more respect. Go ahead, sir. What were you about to say about the title of the room?
Well, I saw the title of the room, and that's why I came in. So I thought that there was a conversation that ensued. So I wanted to see what the perspective was. I haven't heard anything. I didn't see anything in news about it. I've been kind of with my head down at work. So I usually come in here to get updated.
Yeah, he deported his three children. One has a stage 4 cancer, and they're claiming it wasn't a deportation because they didn't take him to court and get an official order to deport. They said, oh, they removed him because they removed the parent because the parents wanted to go, and the parents were saying, no, that's not correct. We didn't want our children to leave. Our children are American citizens, and one has stage 4 cancer. They came and communicate with their doctors, healthcare professionals at this critical time with this kid having stage 4 cancer, an American citizen. The Trump administration, one of the Trump administrator, the border czar said that, it's their fault for coming into this country and having children. And so it ties in birthright citizenship. It ties in a whole bunch of other things. But they're claiming that they didn't do anything wrong because they didn't quote unquote deport them. They removed them with their parents. They weren't deported.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a
And
Which,
the
which
that's a
and the
blatant.
debate for the last 35 minutes, 45 minutes before that was these different, like this ICE raid, whether it was justified, whether it was jointly done with local authorities and the feds and DEA or not. Yeah, and people said different answers for that.
This is just the beginning. This is going to go all around the country. Things are like this are going to happen, and we're going to react to them each on their separate occasion, based on the rules and laws set up by the our government. So I think this is just the beginning of what's going to happen.
He is a sick man. His cabinet is sick. Those kids were American citizens. They were born here. What he's doing is playing semantics with the words, and to try to get individuals out. But what people don't understand is, and like I said earlier, once he gets through with the immigrants, who do you think he's going to turn on next? And we just saw it happen.
I don't think it's Trump. Trump ain't the one down on the line putting people out. It's local and state legislation and people, in the
Acting on his
IDEA
words,
that's actually picking the people out to put out.
acting on his
And
ideas and
it's a little
words.
common sense oriented when you see a family and one's got cancer, and the way you deal with it might be different than the way you deal with somebody else. I mean, I just think people down on the lower levels aren't using
No,
their brain.
they're acting on his words and his speeches. That is what, if they are doing it, that is what incited them. He has empowered them to do so by his very rhetoric.
Yeah, but I would, Jerry, I would support your idea because he sets the tone, and I think it gives everybody kind of like a free, kind of a blank slate to interpret that how they will in their state, and I think that's what we're experiencing here.
Absolutely. That's why that clown came, who was not an ICE agent at all, but he stopped I think they were from Mexico, and he stopped them stating that he's an ICE agent. They're about to be deported. He was pretending to be an ICE agent, but he's empowering them by his very speeches, his very words to do just that. He set the tone. He's the
Oh,
commander in chief.
he
He
said
set the
deport
tone.
a kid with cancer out of this country. I mean, I didn't hear nothing like that. That don't even make sense.
What he does doesn't make sense. There's a list of things he does that does not make sense.
It's
Maybe to you, you're a
No, you
Democrat.
don't know
Us
what I am.
Republicans
That's
see.
a lie from the pit of hell. I have never claimed to be a Democrat. You're assuming, and that's what you
Well,
do. You get in your
a
emotions
Democrat.
and you assume things. That's sick. Instead of just
Oh,
asking me,
I just think by the way you talked.
you can't
Well,
tell
to
by the
be
way I
fair,
talk.
we all make assumptions. And so, how do you identify as independent, Republican, not MAGA?
Hell no.
To bring curiosity instead of assumptions. What's your answer there?
I am
Or do
independent.
you like to keep
I
it
am
private?
independent. Plain and simple.
Okay.
Thank
Independent
you
and
for
proud.
asking
Got
instead
it.
of assuming. I
Scooby, take
appreciate you
notes.
asking instead of assuming. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
so Scooby. All the things that's going on right now. You don't think Trump has anything to do with them? The
Hell
climate.
no! Not when you're deporting a family with a kid with cancer. That he didn't have nothing to do with that.
Okay, so
People,
Scooby,
if I,
hold on, Scooby.
it's like in the military when you get orders from above. You you got to rationalize what happens down below. I mean,
Yeah,
when you're kicking a
yeah,
door down in,
and guess what, Joe Scooby,
you don't shoot up a
you want to
family.
compare it to the military, and your chain of command, your leadership is the one who sets sets the climate for the unit, correct?
Yeah,
Scooby.
from the top down.
Okay, so if you have a chain of command that's setting a fucked up climate and environment, and you have soldiers, you know, highly stressed out, don't know where to ask from the elbow, don't know what's going on the next second, the next moment, like federal employees right now, this is the type of shit that happens.
Scooby, you got to admit the culture of MAGA
No,
is
it's not
a
fucked up.
feel. It's a
No,
feel.
that's you
Scooby,
guys'
He puts, he has
philosophy.
people
Scooby,
around
Scooby,
I don't
him
agree with you.
because
Scooby. Let
he
me ask you
had all
this.
those leaks in the first term. It's even
Oh,
more that way.
Scooby, let me ask
Like,
you. Scooby, let me ask
Scooby,
you a
I think
question.
you might need a nap, bud.
Scoop.
no,
So
you
you're
stay up
not a you,
whatever time you want to stay up to, Scooby.
Allie, me and Scooby have this thing. It's okay. I'm just messing.
So Scooby, you're not a federal employee getting all these fucked up emails for the past 100 days, right? Or dealing with motherfuckers who don't know their ass from their elbow. So again, the climate that you're seeing right now is coming from one person.
It's coming from one person, but the way you react to what happens right in front of you is very different than what you hear. You still got your personal responsibility down the line. I mean, I've been in that position. I've been in combat where I've had to make decisions that may be different
You're
from
not the only you're
exactly
not the
what
only
the way
one,
I
Scooby.
interpret it above.
You're not the only
There's
one.
such things as legal and illegal orders, and using your brain to figure out what's right and wrong.
Yeah, you like setting up a private signal chat on your personal phone. You know that's good. That's right. Setting the standards. Start from the top, Scooby. Right? Come on, man. Like I
No,
can't believe I can't
that's
believe
ignorance.
you're really gonna sit here and make excuses for the climate that's going on right now.
I think to Haitian's point there. So if it's not entirely his responsibility, fault, or influence, then I would imagine at some point he would come out and make a correction. If he's aware of these things is happening, and it's not, and he doesn't want them to happen on his administration, then there would be some intervention. So I imagine if you don't see any intervention, if you don't see any mid course correction, if you don't see any letters or anything on the news, I mean, he loves to go in front of the cameras. So if that doesn't happen, I mean, the only thing you could assume is that if you let a thief in the house and you say nothing, then maybe you planned it. I mean, I think that's reasonable to think that, Scooby.
Yeah, so perhaps they could start focusing on stupid things and making shit up, like sending emails out to federal employees telling them to report any anti-Christian coworkers. Like this is the commander in distraction, Scooby. This is like I don't understand how someone like you that spent your life in the military could actually act like this is leadership. This is piss poor leadership from the top.
Better than no leadership than what we had,
Oh, okay,
because that's the
okay.
way we were
Hey,
heading.
so I'm
That's
curious. I'm
deflecting.
curious. I'm curious. I'm
We were going to
curious.
give China away
That's
in the next
deflecting. We're talking
15,
about the
10,
right
Excuse
here,
me.
15
the right
years.
now.
No,
Excuse me.
we're talking
I'm
about
curious. So
leadership
when
as a
you
whole.
talk about
But
leadership, I'm curious. When you talk about leadership, we have a lot of leadership in this platform. So why are you worried about others that you don't see on a daily basis versus worrying about the people that you see on a daily basis?
who are you speaking to?
I'm speaking to anyone talking about leadership. I don't know who just said what they said, but I mean, this shit can be taken very literal. Although I realize the neurotypical people are smarter than the people who are neurodiverse. So since you are so much smarter than us, let's be logical and say, if we're being literal, if we all come to these places every day and we all make millions and billions, can't we make the rules? Because they don't make the rules for us if we make the rules. Isn't that right? Let's be literal.
Yeah, man. Yeah, okay.
Hold on, wait, no, hold on,
I
wait,
don't
no,
understand what
no,
you're saying.
don't hold it short because you're trying to create content. So if you're creating
I'm not here to
content,
create fucking
or
content,
you
bro.
listen, no, I don't even know you. So because I'm tired of this because I learned from my psychologist is that those of us on the spectrum, we're considered socially awkward because we don't know how to conform to the bullshit that's created. Although you all conform to the bullshit and then complain about the bullshit
Then go do
when
some
saying
AB
that you're the
therapy.
you're you're the six figure
Try.
earner. Like why the fuck are you all doing this? Isaac Hayes created the first app that you can invest in. You won't support the app, but you'll support other
You're
apps that
proving
you can't invest
you're
in.
proving your therapist's point right now, though.
I'm not socially awkward. You're socially awkward.
If you
My
say so.
therapist.
If you say so. If you say you're
Because guess
not,
what? Hold on, hold on,
Shout
hold on,
out
hold on. Wait.
bipolar.
And then I'm gonna tell you this. The owner of Chatter told me, King Thor, you're a great person, although you need to learn how to create controversy because controversy builds business. Why do we have to be controversial instead of just loving one another
all
mutually?
right, bro. So you,
Because we say love, although we don't
yeah,
love.
yeah, no doubt. So
No, no, hold on,
your
wait. Don't no,
psychologist told you that, right?
don't pass what I said, brother.
I'm trying to
Because you're
respond
talking
to you,
shit, so
man.
let's
I'm trying to
talk
help
shit.
you. So that's what your psychologist told you, right?
You can't help me. No, the owner of Chatter told me.
You said your
King, hold on,
psychologist
hold
told
on.
you
I
that.
said the owner of Chatter told me you're not going to be successful unless you learn how to be controversial because
Okay.
people buy business off of controversy.
All
So
right.
why do you want to affect people's mental health off of controversy when you could just love one another?
Bro,
Because love is more powerful than controversy.
you got to
Fuck
ask
your
your
money.
psychiatrist that question.
No,
All
no.
right.
And that
All
answer
right.
might
Well,
be in the form of a bottle.
since you want to be funny, I'm asking you that question. Why do you move the way you
Because I
move?
do.
Why
I,
can't you love people
Bro, I don't even
unconditionally?
fucking
I'm
know
just
you,
trying to get
man.
back to the title. I just want
No,
to get
no,
back to
no,
the
Yeah,
no, no,
we
title.
no.
need to we
I'm
need to
asking you a
focus back on the
question
I just
title.
want to get to the title.
because it's fucking it's 12:17 a.m. on the East Coast. You probably in L.A. or some shit.
Okay, but back to the title though. That's what I really would like to talk about. I'm just trying to see where we deviated. Because I was asking why the deflection to the other, to the former, when we're talking about the right here and right now, staying on topic with this current president or this leadership.
Yeah, he's gone now from the stage, Jerry. He's
Okay.
gone from the stage. So
Look at Haitian running. Go ahead, you guys. Anyone?
what did Putin have to do with the matter,
What?
or was that just a separate subline?
What's that?
I said, what did Putin have to do with the matter? I'm just looking at the subject here.
So those are two separate.
Or,
Who's
or was that a separate news focus?
One is the deportation, and the other subject would be Putin stepping up on
Okay,
attacks.
gotcha.
the deportation thing's wild to me. I mean, look, we can. I mean, yes, it's going to pull on people's heartstrings when you mention a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 7-year-old, and and the stuff I'm looking into. And I saw the guys Rubio and Holman on the news, and then I've read as much articles as I can. As from what I'm finding here, like, okay, so the 2-year-old who has an 11-year-old sibling, and the mother and the 11-year-old are not legal. The 2-year-old, I guess, was born here, so I guess ipso facto makes them legal. Now, the mother was going to get deported, and the mother said, I want to take my baby with me. So the 2-year-old was sent with the mother. Now, if they deport the mother and leave the baby here, then everyone will be saying, well, they separated the family. So now they deport the mother, and the mother says, yeah, I want to take my kid with me. They send the kid with the mother, and now they're like, well, you deported a U.S. citizen. It's like, well, what do you want them to do? The mother chose to be deported, and she's like, yeah, my kid needs to come with me. The kid can come back. Now I don't know where the father is in all this, because like I know that they mentioned something about the father, and the father like was hesitant to show his citizenship, and then they made a thing where the kid should stay with family members. So I don't know what's going on with the father here. The 4-year-old, the cancer case, I'm still trying to find stuff on that because all they do is mention it and just go away with it. But I guess the question would be is the mother had been here for like 2 decades. Like why are you not still why are you not a citizen?
Because it's not that simple.
2 decades?
You don't know what they went through with the court process. It's like
No, 20
for some for
years?
some
I know it takes a
for
long
some
time.
reason
20
a
years?
lot of people on the right
She
think it's just like
decided
that.
probably to not
Okay, keep
follow
talking.
up.
You have the answers. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Look, man, I know the immigration process takes a while, probably too long. I would agree with you there, but it don't take 2 decades, bro.
Hey, well, I have a friend here that I met, and she literally got hers within like 20 years. So don't be quick to say how fast or how slow it can be, because you're not correct at all.
If you stay up to date on it, and if you do everything you're supposed to do, it's probably going to take a while, but it does not take 20 years.
So, Mike, I have a question for you. Have you ever actually asked somebody
Yes,
who been through the process and it took them 20 years? Not
never.
someone who took them less time. Have you ever asked anyone about the complexities of the immigration process from
Yeah,
their vantage point?
yeah, I've been through. I mean, on average, you get about 8 years. I mean, I know some go 12 years, some about 10. Some people get it done in 6 to 7 years. On average, it's about 8 to 10 years, probably about a decade. But if you take 20 years and you're still not a citizen and you've been doing everything, you've had children here, you're probably just not following up on your appointments. You're probably not filling out the right paperwork. You're probably not doing this. You're probably not doing that. 20 years?
Yeah. Well, my question is, have you spoken to someone that had not had their citizenship within 20 years, and did you ask them, or are you making assumptions when you haven't actually spoken to someone who's been through that? So the people that you talk to that it took 8, 10, 12 years, you don't have a full perspective because you probably have not talked to someone who it has taken that long, and then you would find that there may be more complex circumstances than you may be aware of. Would you agree? I
Well,
think that's the issue that we have sometimes. And the reason is because I felt the same way as you did, right? And then I had a few conversations, not just on this topic, on several topics. We like to speak outside of things, outside of our experiences, and make assumptions about things that we do not know. And everyone's guilty of it, not only me, not only you, and not only me. But there are more complex issues, especially with a completely changing legal climate too, as well. Over the years, different administrations have different attitudes towards immigration or different normalcies. So it's really it's more than possible that something like this can happen. Also, it's very expensive. There are complex issues. Some people do have a language barrier. Some people have been scammed. Some people have a provision that blocks their path to citizenship based on how they enter the country. And there are several issues that could create this reality. I just think that it's easy for us to say, well, it shouldn't have taken you that long, or you should have, but we have to consider the totality of circumstances. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, that does seem abnormal. But once I actually start talking to people that had been here this long, then I began to understand.
well,
It's amazing.
I
The
think
land is
All right.
stolen
that's a
anyway.
great. Well, go ahead. Whoever that was, go ahead.
No, I just said it's amazing. The land is stolen anyway. So when we talk about illegal immigrants and things of that nature, just it's amazing. And with all due respect, I say it all the time. It's just amazing to hear the descendants or the original illegal immigrants talk about illegal immigration. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any boundaries and law and stuff like that, but it's just amazing when the land was stolen to begin with. It's just mind-boggling to me.
Okay, really fun fact. I just seen a post from Trump where he's saying we're getting ready to make Columbus a thing again or something, Columbus Day a thing again. Let's see, yeah. I'm bringing Columbus Day back from the ashes, President Donald Trump. Christopher Columbus is so back. And he has a picture of him with his aviator glasses and Christopher Columbus with a statue of Christopher Columbus with his aviator glasses. So it's just funny as you're talking about that, I'm actually looking at this particular post. But by the way, I didn't know that Columbus Day wasn't a thing anymore. It just so happened that some people, rightfully so, choose not to celebrate the genocidal maniac that he was, and I think that's only fair. Anyways, yeah, carry on.
Yeah, they called it Indigenous Day as opposed to Columbus Day, and
Yeah,
rightfully so.
absolutely. Yeah, like why should indigenous people or people who are um, allied with indigenous people, why would they want to celebrate their genocide? Why? And why would we expect them to? You see, the problem is that this is what Trump and company is all about, and like his true not people who voted for him. I totally get that; it makes sense. But those true supporters, is there's a couple things I didn't say this earlier, but I just want to say it now, just because I'm in the mood. They're they they really don't, no matter what try to message that they say, they really only feel as if this country belongs to a certain group of people, and they're willing to tokenize anyone that gets alignment with them. You get in alignment with them, you echo their points, you point to people who are part of your own group. I heard we were talking about the other day how there's a guy that's talking about the Brazilians or something like that. He's Brazilian, and he's Like he's great. Oh, look, he gets it. And the second thing is, I didn't want to say this earlier while we were doing the live podcast. Are we recording? I hope not. But the bottom line is that I'm going to go ahead and put this out here. The true MAGA supporters, go look at the Bill of Rights, guys. Go do a refresher course on the Bill of Rights, and look how many of look at what it says, and look how many of those rights are contrary to what this administration is doing and what the people that support it are saying. They may feel as if those Bill of Rights apply to them, but there's a whole group of people, and you hear it in this room, and it's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. Like about we don't care about any of they don't care about the Constitution. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The MAGA based supporters, I said it. You got a problem with me? See me in a chat or see me on this stage. Are complicit with the unraveling our democracy, and they hate our Constitution because it was meant and designed for everyone to be equal and to have equal rights, and that's not what they want. And it's becoming more and more apparent. Anybody disagree with that? You got the stage.
Well, I think it's okay. It's very nuanced here, right? I think we can all agree on that. Even the Constitution itself is, I mean, I think we should all agree. It's always open for interpretation. I mean, the beauty of the Constitution is that literally inside the document like the document itself gives it a out to challenge the document. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally written in there to be able to amend it. So that's kind of the beauty of this whole thing. So it's always up to interpretation. When they talk about the birthright citizenship, well, if you want to get, I guess, technical about it, the birthright citizenship, those whole amendments, they weren't really about illegal immigrants having babies here. That's not what that thing was written about. Now it's been interpreted to mean that now. But if you go look at the history of why that whole thing came about, which it needed to come about, it didn't come about because of illegal immigrants. It was all about the slaves being freed and their babies and shit like that. It had nothing to do with illegals. And then the illegal part of this, like, I get it, right? Like, no, I've never talked to someone who's been going through the process for 20 years because everyone I've talked to about it, said it didn't take that long. Now, in one part of what you said to me, and it was a great rebuttal, right? I don't disagree with what you're saying, and I like how you're coming at this, and this is how I like to have conversations. If someone was here for 20 years and they started the process like, you know, 10 years into their years of being here, and now they've been here for 20 years. They're like, duh, I've been here for 20 years. Well, yeah, but did you only start the process 10 years ago? Like, so for the first 10 years, you weren't doing anything. So, like, I get what you're saying.
Well,
But no,
you
I've
can't
never
do anything
spoken
for
to
the
someone
first.
who's taken 20 years to get here, and I think that this person, because the lady who has the 2-year old, she also has an 11-year-old who is also an illegal. So the 11-year-old clearly was brought here illegally. She only had the baby since she was here, so she might say she's been here for however long. But she's only had this process going for however long. Now, is she should get deported? I don't know. I'm sure the lady's a great person. I have no idea. Are there really good people getting caught up into this shit? Yeah, I'm sure there is. And it sucks. But look, I gotta pay to live here. You gotta pay to live here. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, if you want to be mad at anybody, get mad at the people that are crossing the border illegally and trying to take advantage of the situation, because that's what's getting this whole thing fucked up. Don't get mad at us. No country works like this. And I feel bad, and it sucks. But the mother wanted to take the child with her. What do you want us to do? Like,
Hey, real
nope,
quick,
sorry, you
brother.
gotta go. The kid stays here. No, she wanted to take the kid. The kid goes with her.
Hey,
I don't
what's
know
your name on the other side?
I don't understand.
Can you hear me?
Well,
Hey,
he
what?
couldn't, but
Yeah. So do you know how long you have to wait before you can even apply for citizenship when you're here?
Good God. No, I was born here.
No. Okay. That's okay. Do you know
Like,
how long you
why
have to
would I
wait?
know that?
Okay. Okay. So you're saying that
Why?
I just know the
that was
process
an
takes a very
because
long
assumption.
time.
you
I
can't
know
even
it takes a
apply.
very long time.
You have to be here at least 5 years before you even apply. Okay, so you saying 20 years is long, and there's different categories, right? So even if you do a try to get citizenship through like your siblings sponsorship, that could take 20 to 25 years.
Bro, you can apply for citizenship in your home country at the embassy.
What are you talking about?
What are
To become
you
a U.S.
talking about?
citizen?
I was in
Bro,
side chat. What are you
You you
both
you you
talking
you
about?
you're not applying to become a U.S. citizen from a different country. You have to be at least here as a resident, have a visa. You apply for a visa to come to the U.S. legally. Now, once you're
right.
in in the U.S., okay, if you want to apply to become a citizen, you have to wait for 5 years. So
Having
what
a
are you
visa
talking
is
about?
legal.
Gosh, bro. All
No,
right, man.
defend what you just said. You just said that you can apply for citizenship in another country and you're
When
not
you
able.
want to, when a man wants to move his family here, he goes to the embassy in his country, gets a visa. Then he comes here. Then he saves up money, probably brings one kid at a time. Then brings his wife who then gets a visa, and everything starts. You start the entire process normally before you even immigrate.
The
What are you
person with the
talking
visa
about,
is
Mike?
not
Now you're
What
bringing
are
just
somebody
you
over with a
talking.
talking
visa.
about?
The
Because the
person
only
with a
way
visa
you can
can't
get
sponsor
into this
somebody.
country legally is if you have a visa, okay?
And how do you
Or
get that visa?
No,
yeah,
but you
but
just
you're listen, okay, listen, let's not
What
play
the? F-
games. Maybe you
but
just misspoke and we can just
no,
and
no,
maybe it
but
was
he
just
already just said though,
maybe
right?
you just accidentally said that and
Wait, are
you
you
might have
agreeing
thought
with him
about it.
that you cannot start the process till you've been here for
No,
5 years
because you
legally?
sound
Oh
insane
shit.
saying that, Mike. You sound insane. Of course, in
You
And,
just
order
and
for
gave
you
Mike,
like
to
six ad hominems. Just pick a point, not a person for a second.
Me?
Yeah, no, Vashon. She's not addressing your points and just hurling insults.
Allison, get out the
We're taking
way.
a
If you
break
want to
from
have a
that, can we?
conversation, if you want to have if you want to have a
Just can you
conversation,
address his points?
no, can you not address? I hate when you do this. I really do, and so I'm going to ask you not to.
Thought we were going to take
You're
a little
not going
break
to.
from
You're
it. I
not,
guess
Allison.
not.
You're not going to
Okay, I'm
police how I
insane
speak.
too. Go
No,
ahead.
Allison, you're not going to police how I speak. You're not going to police how I speak. And I am addressing his point. I've already addressed his point for your information. I've already explained that in order to be able to come to this country, period, you have to have a visa to begin that process. Unless, of
Right.
course, there's some kind of reason you're here for whatever other reason if you're coming here
And
legally.
where
So
do you get
that's
the
it's a
visa
moot
from?
point.
Hey, hey, Vishal,
It's a
can I
moot
speak
point.
up?
Hold on. Since I was interrupted, can I just finish one last thing? So the guy, that's when I want to take an observation of this. So you're talking about how it shouldn't take X amount of years to get your citizenship. Then I ask you a simple question on how long do you have to wait before you apply, and then you say, why would you know because you're born here? Then when we tell you that you cannot apply for citizenship from another country, you have to be here first with a visa. Then you go through a process. Then you double down and say that you could come here with a visa, then you could bring your wife over here with a visa. No, it doesn't work that way, guy. You have to be a U.S.
Yes,
What?
citizen.
no,
You have to be a
yes,
U.S.
it does. Like,
citizen. You
Mike,
have to
can I
be a
speak up,
U.S.
Mike?
citizen to
Can I
sponsor
speak up,
somebody.
sir, for a second?
Can I speak when can you speak when I'm done?
Yeah, let
Yeah,
him
go ahead.
finish.
You have to be a
Probably
U.S.
Vashon will want to respond to you, and maybe he
No,
could go
because you guys are
after.
going at the same thing, and I come from the experience, so I thought I could
You're not the
share my
only one with experience.
experience so
You're not the
you,
only one
you
with
can
experience.
clear up a second.
Okay,
I mean,
let's let CH over there
Yeah,
finish, and
I'm done.
then
You
we'll
guys
we'll
fucking
go
know it
to
all.
Ravi.
Go, Tina.
Don't know your ass from your elbow, but you want to keep cutting people off.
Go ahead,
Haitian, you should
sir.
have finished your point.
She was being the conductor. She gave them.
Go ahead, CH. Go ahead. I don't know your name, sir, but go ahead. Hello.
The
Are
guy who
you
was
there?
saying you have to be here for 5 years before you can even apply. That guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what your name is over there on CH.
His name is Haitian. The
So again,
sensation.
last thing,
Sir Hasten, please go ahead.
yeah. So you cannot be here with a visa and then sponsor somebody else coming from another country. To sponsor someone, you have to be a citizen, okay? And they're gonna go through all your information. You got to be able to show that your finances. You got to be able to show that you can support the person, where you live, all your information. So I don't know what you're talking about, guy. But that's what's funny about it is people on the right like to talk shit, but don't even have a clue what the process is. So before you talk shit and judge people, why don't you learn what the actual process is?
bro, whatever. I'll respond to you
And
after
bro,
Robbie goes. Go
whatever.
ahead,
I
Robbie.
was born here too, so
Nah, I got
Thanks.
him.
No,
He got
no,
a
you're
Haitian.
wrong. Go ahead, Robbie.
okay,
Thanks,
He
Mike.
bro.
got him.
Okay, bro.
So we are U.S. citizens. My brother just got married, who's from India, and he applied for visa for his wife from India. She never came to the country, but they got married in India. So she went to the embassy, applied for visa, and she came here with a green card within 16 months. So you don't necessarily have to be in this country to sponsor your wife. I mean, that's from my experience. So
So your
Or
hopefully,
to
brother's
hopefully
just
not your
start
somebody.
the
brother's not a citizen?
process. To start the process.
She was in India. Like he
No, no.
started
Your
the
brother
process from
is your
here.
brother a
Like he
citizen?
applied for paperwork. She got green card while she was in India. She never stepped into this country. She got handed a green card while she was in India. She went to the embassy for an interview. Bam, she's done, and she came here. Now she's a U.S. citizen within, I think, less than a year. You know.
Yeah, like guys, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying you get the thing done in months. I'm just saying like when when the lady got deported and they're like, "Well, I've been here for 20 years." Like, "Well, what have you been doing?" And now the 2-year-old and everybody's like, "Well, he deported a kid." It's like, "Well, the mother wanted the kid to come with her. The kid's still a U.S. citizen. They went to Honduras, and the kid is now a U.S. citizen in
Mike,
Honduras.
real quick, the
And
guy
when
that
the
spoke
kid wants to
before
come
you,
back, or if somebody here that's a U.S. citizen wants to bring the kid back, the kid is that's he's more the kid's more than welcome."
the guy that spoke before you, is your brother a citizen?
Yes, sir. He is a U.S. citizen. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Made his point. Yeah, and you don't even see that.
Thank you.
Just made his
I don't
point.
know why some people think much smarter than other people. Maybe because of accents, they think they just like know it all.
Right.
But like you literally just like I don't understand what the point is saying. Your brother's a citizen though.
Sir, Mike said you don't have to be in this country to sponsor somebody, right?
No,
So
no, 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 no.
my brother's wife, she never
Mike was
came
saying
here.
that you could sponsor somebody as a non-U.S. citizen with a visa, right? So,
What?
so if your brother was not a U.S. citizen, he couldn't have sponsored her, correct?
That is correct. But
Okay.
here's the
No,
thing.
don't butt it.
So again, what part? So what did I say that was incorrect?
I didn't say you were incorrect or Mike was right. I was just sharing my experience, man. Come on, chill.
Yeah, I mean, this whole thing's stemming from the fact that like you guys are arguing like, well, it does take 20 years. I'm like, look, I know it takes a long time, but if you hear someone say, "Oh, it took me 20 years to get
There's
citizenship. I've been
different
here for 20 years. I still
categories.
don't have my
There's
citizenship."
different
All I'm
categories.
saying to
Just like
you
just like
is they,
just like the guy that
along
just
the
spoke.
way, they probably forgot some paperwork, didn't show up to something,
No,
put
no.
it to the back burner
Nobody
for a
said
little
it
while,
takes 20
and see up to
years.
date on their stuff.
You made a
All
blanket
I'm
This guy's
saying.
state. You made a
fucking.
blanket
Okay,
statement.
but see, Mike, you're saying probably. See, here's the problem. You're speaking from a position of ignorance because you've never actually spoken to a person that it actually took that long to understand from their standpoint why it did. You're making assumptions based on something that you don't know. There's a possibility, hold on a second. There could be a possibility that you are maybe right, but the fact of the matter from the information that I received, no, there is a lot of limitations. First of all, it's a financial you don't just to get to apply that costs money. You need attorneys. These people are often scammed. They go after attorney. They wait and wait and wait, right?
Don't forget there's a
And there's
limit.
really not a lot that they can do about it. I've heard these stories because I've actually asked. I've actually had these conversations.
Don't
Two,
forget the limit of
again,
the country you're
uh,
coming
uh,
from.
two, I already addressed that there is a continuous changing national policy on immigration from administration to administration. If someone is here and they're able to buy a house and they're able to pay taxes, they're able to create contracts and relationships with city, local, and federal governments by mere fact that they are doing those things, then there is an assumption that could be made that they are also rightfully here and depend upon the period of time that they are in, depend upon the administration, then you know why would you think you couldn't be here if you could pay taxes? why
I'm
would
with you. Look, the baby
why
was
would
born
you
there. How'd the baby get a social security number when the mom's illegal? I understand that. It's kind of like, whoa, why didn't that
No,
raise red
we're
flags?
not talking about the mom. I'm not talking about that case. I'm talking to you about in general. Now, in regards to that, what I'm just telling you, Mike, I just want to challenge you to go and find maybe some of those people or just ask questions of the people that you know and ask them from the people you know that have taken that long or they're not citizens as to why, because you're making assumptions, which of course we all do that, but the fact of the matter is, it's just not coming from an informed place. And we all need to be better about that. We should never assume for other groups of people, in particular to their struggle and their stories and their lived experiences that we have not experienced. In
And
regards to the mom, remember that child also has a father, okay? So are you saying that it's okay to deny the father who is an American citizen his rights in regards to his own child? Would you be okay if your child was sent away to another country and to deport it and you are an American citizen? Would you have a problem with that if it didn't go through the right process?
I mean, seriously, of course not. And that's what I also said. It's kind of weird where the father. I mean, even if you look into this whole situation, they were trying to find family relatives that could keep the kid, and I'm like, well, where's the fucking father? Even the father was arguing to have it say have the baby have like it go through the courts to where the baby could or the 2-year-old could stay with relatives. I'm like, well, is the father not legal? Like, what's going on here? So I don't know why the father is not stepping up and being like, "Yo, the baby can stay with me." Now the mother said she wants the baby to stay with her, which you can't blame a mother for that. And all I'm getting at, even when you just Google search, on average, how long does it take to become a U.S. citizen? It says between 15 to 18 months. Now it says this time frame includes the green card eligibility period and the naturalization process. But I mean, when you 20 years, like I know it takes a long time, and no, I've never talked to someone who takes 20 years, and I guess you have, but also even you say I'm coming from a part of ignorance, saying that well they didn't file their paperwork, and you go well maybe they had a financial, and maybe they had this, maybe they had this. We're both saying the same thing. All I'm pointing out here is you cannot. I don't. If you're going to be upset with anybody about this kind of stuff, then be upset with people that are coming across the border illegally and just trying to clog the system up and taking advantage of it. People that are coming across legal ports of entry, and someone mentioned ancestors. When you come, Ellis Island was a legal port of entry. So, like, I get what you guys are trying to get at here, but we're kind of erring on the side of you can't just take one scenario that's wrong and then forget all these other scenarios and be like, well, no one should get deported. Like, hold on. People are getting deported because they're illegal and they're not abiding by the laws in the country they want to live in. That's what's happening right now.
So maybe if they kick out the people that's on overstayed visa, most from European places,
I
then
was
that
just
would
about to say
defog the
that.
system. How
100%.
about that?
Yeah,
100%.
I was just gonna say that. Shout out to that lady over on
I
Chatham.
100% agree with that. Those people should go too.
Nah, you know that's bullshit. That's bullshit. You don't want them to go.
he'll open his doors then.
Right,
What do you
open
mean
the
it's
doors.
bullshit?
Oh, y'all gonna be fucked.
See, that's what I'm saying. You guys just want to find stuff to argue about. I'm literally telling you. I agree. If you overstay your visa, get the fuck out. Bye. Like, what do you want me to, it's like that in every other country. If you overstay your visa in some other country, they're going to come find you and they're going to tell you get the fuck out. I don't like. Why should our country operate differently?
I overstayed 2 days in Bali and it was scary. Back room, they wanted back sheesh. Yeah, that's like a bribe.
And Mike, looks like there's a lot of gaps in the story too. If the mother was, I mean, like, illegal for 20 years, the first kid who's 14, also illegal, but not a citizen. So the kid must have been born here, right? You know what I mean? So it
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
make
that's what I thought.
sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it.
or the 14-year old was brought here at like maybe the 14-year old was like 1 or 2 years old when they brought him here, so that kid may not been born here, and then while they were here had the other baby. I
Right.
don't know. It's
It
weird.
just doesn't add up. But like you said, nobody deported the baby. The mother wanted to take the baby with her. So, like, I mean, you know,
Right, and if they deport the mother and make the baby stay here, they're going to call it child separation. What do you?
Oh, 100%.
So, Mike, did the mother have any type of record, or she was just here illegally?
Look, man, you heard me say that. Well, if she's here illegally,
No, I didn't hear you say. That's why I asked you.
But
I'm not playing. I'm not here to play games with you.
I don't know. That's not a game, dude. I'm telling you, you're gonna deny, you're gonna bypass the one crime she committed and ask if she's committed any other crimes. But what I'm telling you is that I even said it earlier. She might be a great person. I don't know. I'm sure she's a wonderful person who keeps her nose down, keeps her nose clean, and does what she's supposed to do to better her family. I'm sure she is. I'm not saying that all these people that are getting deported are gang members, but like, what do you want us to do? They probably have a database, and these people, they're pulling up people that are here illegally. They find them and they deport them. Like, I don't know what do you want them to do? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, do you feel like the system is working properly and at the best that it could be right now? To the guy that's over there on Chatter.
I
I
mean,
don't know
Of
your
course not.
I don't know
There's
your name. I'm sorry. I'm just asking. Oh,
yeah,
or
you're
the lady, whoever's
not
been
asking
speaking,
me.
whoever's been speaking over on Chatter. I don't know anybody's name.
Mike.
Mike.
so I
Okay.
think so. I think they're doing a good job, or what are you asking?
No, I said, do you think the system is working correctly and up to its potential at this moment?
I'm not. I'm not sure what
As
system you're
far as
talking about.
how it work with ICE coming to pick up people and sending people back to Mexico. No, excuse me, back to the borders.
If people are getting deported, then I would say, yeah, I guess it's working. I mean, I think the immigration process needs to be understood a little better. I think there needs to be it needs to be. I don't know if it can be streamlined, right? Because you got people coming to live in the country. I don't know. But I'm just saying, when you become a citizen of another country, when you apply to be a citizen of another country, yeah, I'm sure it's a pain in the ass. I've never tried to become a citizen of another country, but I would expect that that country make sure they know who are becoming citizens. I would like that. I don't think that no country should be like, yeah, no problem. Like, I find it crazy.
Well, we got the Trump card. You get to carry that if you pay 5 million, is it, to be a citizen?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like
Well,
90% of
it's
Americans
just a good visa, right?
got
You're just
5
getting a
mil laying
visa.
around, or immigrant got
The new world. It's the
five
MAGA
mil.
world.
Yeah, it's a dumb world, I guess, but it is what it is.
Did you guys see the Elon tweet a while back when he tweeted mega, make Europe great again? That was right before he went on his little Europe tour supporting far right candidates.
When was this?
You think we could get a third
I
party?
missed what you just said. The European reference. Mega.
See, Mrs. You said about the Elon thing.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a new era. It's a different kind of politics. And in a way, I don't think Trump and MAGA fit into Republican or Democratic lanes fully. And I wonder if mega is going to become a thing and Elon is going to support mega spreading across Europe first and then other places. Well, I want to answer. This is not Mike, but I would like to say I think that there's a lot that can be done better always, generally. It's ridiculous to come from the point of view, unless you are hardcore bias Trump supporter who thinks that he can do no wrong. Then, of course, the answer, Mike, not sorry, the other guy that spoke on Clubhouse, the answer, for those people that are huge Trump supporters is he can do no wrong. It's as good as it can be, or, if it's not, it's not Trump's fault.
Thank you for answering.
What's your name? You're welcome.
Quentin Mason.
So, what do you think, Clinton Mason, needs to happen for things to be better as we head towards the point where, yeah, it's like if you're an illegal alien, you're illegally not supposed to be here, you're hiding, and you like to smoke weed in a country or in a state that doesn't allow weed smoking, for example, right? You might get deported. You might be a good guy that's going to work and paying your taxes, and you're in the huge group of people that are in line to get citizenship, not getting kicked out, but you go and smoke the weed and, then you get kicked out, like, or they do. What do you think? Like, what
Being
needs to
deported
be
for
better? What's the right thing to do? It's,
well, first off, being deported for smoking weed is bullshit. The only I think weed laws all around is just bullshit. We all know it was just negative ads pushed against for colored folks and hippies to get them locked up and things like that. Not to go too deep into that, but last time I checked, these
the
immigrants are.
80s and cocaine.
He says what?
I said, or the 80s and cocaine. Sorry
Right,
to
I'm just
interject.
saying. But you brought up
It's
weed, so
another
I'm just.
example of,
Yeah, but I'm not worried about that part. You brought up weed. Weed is half legal in half of the U.S., but even where I stay, weed is still not legal. So it's just a waste of time trying to enforce something that people have been using, even with the threat of jail time, doing life, and everything else. Weed is still been constantly
okay, but
used.
you're talking about citizens. The whole question was
Yeah,
about
I know, but I'm
that
telling you,
behavior with
yeah.
people
But
that
I
are
was
in the
answering the other
country
part
illegally.
because I don't too much care about weed stuff. I'm talking about as
Our
far as
question's like
last
if you're
time.
illegal.
Hey, will y'all give me a second, or you just tell me to slow down and answer the question? Now, as far as it comes, last time I checked, immigrants was putting at least $100 billion a year into our taxes, or paying taxes that they won't benefit when they retire or anything. So what? So what? Yeah, right.
Can I ask
So
you a clarifier question?
go ahead.
Allison, I don't think Quentin was done. Is that you, Quentin, on Clubhouse?
Yes, ma'am. It is. I'm sorry. I
Okay,
can't. I don't. I
continue,
don't know who that
please.
is,
Allison,
but
please don't interrupt.
My bad.
yeah. But as I was saying, they're adding $100 billion, and let's be real. Our economy runs off of low immigrants as far as the work nobody wants to get done. Now, if y'all think it's okay to go ahead and get rid of them, and but y'all don't want to go out here and farm or work these manufacturing jobs, and you just sitting here thinking it's gonna be like the old days, but the prices are going up for things. If you think that's okay, you want to spend more for the same products, by all means. I'm not here to change your mind. I just think that you're going against your own interests, wanting to deport people that are literally keeping the costs low and keeping your way of life the way it is, to make things happen on a
Wow.
day-to-day basis. Now,
So
so go
so
ahead, go
you're
with that.
advocating for cheap labor off the backs
No,
of
no, I'm telling you, it's what's going on right now. It's what's been going on. Why are you acting like this is brand new? I'm not
no, I'm
advocating for
saying
something.
I'm
It's
not asking who says exactly brand new. Who said that? I'm saying you're advocating for us to exploit uh, day laborers off cheap labor. Like you're asking us for us to continue to exploit people
do
for cheap
you not know
labor.
how the economy works though? Isn't that how the
No,
economy
dude, I'm
works?
asking you a question.
Shoot, just tell
You're
them we can
saying
get
we're
some
getting rid of people
Europeans
that
from
are doing
South
these
Africa to
jobs
come
that
do the
Americans
work.
don't want to do. So you're advocating for the exploitation of cheap labor.
If they're European from South Africa, yes.
I forgot.
It's already
And
happening, Mike.
thank
It's already
thank you.
happening.
That's what
So
I'm
what are
saying.
you
He's
talking?
saying I'm advocating for something like you don't know how the
What I'm
economy
asking is,
works.
you're saying we should not get rid of this, and so you're advocating for the exploitation of cheap labor.
And again, I ask you, do you not know how the economy works? Now you
Oh my
think what they
god,
do
bro!
for pennies on it. listen. Do you, Mike? Now that I know your
It
name, Mike. Do you think are you gonna go work that job for $5 an hour to make sure we
Hey,
got blue jeans made here, or you know, making sure our fruits and vegetables get off that truck and get into our grocery stores? Are you willing to work those jobs? I don't know what you do for a living, Mike, but I'm sure you're not about to take no pay cut to go work that just to be a proud American having a made in America job type thing. Like, what are you gonna do?
all right, okay. So this is how this is gonna work. You ask me the question, I'm gonna answer you.
Okay,
No,
I'll
I
start
wouldn't.
talking.
Okay, hold on. You ask me the question, I'm gonna answer you just how the questions work, right? You ask me, I'm gonna say it to you. No, I wouldn't want to work that job. Now I'm gonna ask you the question. Are you advocating for the exploitation of cheap labor and off of illegal immigrants' backs?
No.
Okay, then. So we agree that those jobs, which, by the way, this idea that Americans won't work those jobs, Americans are the hardest working people on the planet, based off of hours worked, innovation in fields, and stuff, and the way that America does its workforce. Americans are by statistics the hardest working people on the planet. We put more hours a week in than anybody else on the planet. And so if you want to sit here and say shit like, well, I think that this is fucked up. We should just have a bunch of illegals come over here and pick our fucking food. Well, dude, hold on. Now, if you want to tell me who's going to work those jobs, now, yes, I do think it would be a little difficult to find companies to hire people like that because now you got to pay a minimum wage, right? The wages are definitely going to have to go up. And then all that's going to have a trickle down effect. Now, I will suggest this. Why wouldn't we make inmates do that? Because if you think about it, that if you're saying it's such a hard thing to do and go and people don't want to go and pick food, well then that would also be a deterrent to go to jail. And inmates don't even get wages. It actually costs us less to pay inmates to do it than it would to cost us to
Oh
pay
my God,
immigrants to do
that's
it.
an
So what
ignorant
I'm trying to tell
statement.
you, there are people to do those types of jobs that we have, and you seem like you were just advocating for low, basically well, I'm not going to say that. You're
You're
advocating
advocating
for
for
illegal
black and
immigrants to
brown
have low
from prison.
wages and to
You just
exploit
said you
that type of
want
labor.
inmates to do that. Like, are you? You know
What's
what?
the
Why not? They
fucking
I
do.
just
Look,
want to say
difference?
this real quick, and I'm gonna pass
Please
it
tell
they
me
clean
on.
what's
up.
the
They pick up
difference.
litter on highways.
But listen. I just want to say this part right here. Cause I'm gonna pass it on. Cause I see other people want to jump in.
They make our
The
license
fact, the
plates.
fact that, the fact that you said it shows that Americans are the hardest working people in the world. Now I see you said in the Western or something hemisphere or something like that, but in the world,
Yes, we're the
bullshit.
hardest working
Because
people in the world.
if you when you think about it, when you look at patents and things that's like innovation, or even how this is, I'm not trying to make it a race thing, but the South
Hours
got
worked.
rich. The South got rich off of free labor and got their wealth. Even though when you look at the patents and things that was made, our brothers and sisters built half of the stuff of everything from GPS to computers to video games to
Yeah,
certain
Americans.
foods
Yeah,
and things
Americans.
like that, and other things that has been stolen, like Jack Daniels, alcohol, the alcohol people drink, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera. But the fact that you
Yeah, dude,
think
you
that
can talk about the color of their skin all you want, bro. I'm talking about Americans.
I
So yes,
yeah, yeah,
their
yeah,
patents were
I'm talking
stolen.
about Americans
Shit
too.
like that
What are
was
you
abused, but
talking
it was
about?
still Americans that came up with the good
I'm
Hey,
talking
inventions.
about
Q,
Americans too. What are you talking about?
you talk about Americans that
Right,
want to
me
keep it out of
too.
school books.
Right, I'm
Different.
talking about Americans. The people I'm talking about
Yeah,
are
me too.
Americans. Okay, then why you? I just said I'm not
Because I
making
don't know
it
what you're
a
making. I don't
race
know why you're
thing.
bringing up patents that were stolen. Those are Americans that created those patents.
No, please
Americans are
Yeah, the
don't.
Americans
consuming
No,
that
like
please
the
don't.
Americans
Don't.
that you refuse
77%,
to put in school
right?
books. Yeah,
More
those
than
Americans.
like a lot of people are
Yeah.
exporting more. And Trump, wait, let me just like make one point. Trump, to be fair, right? He's kind of in that corner where I heard somebody asked and was told that like somebody asked Elon, Mario tweeted and asked Elon, hey, is Trump doing these tariffs to bring jobs back to America or for strategy? And Elon wrote back to Mario and said strategy, and he shared it. And it makes sense because it's like, really, what, how long would it take to create the infrastructure in America? And then you have somebody new in 4 years who's like not so isolationist, and they're like all about free trade, but then the infrastructure's here and it takes time to build it. And how long would the trade war have to be before we'd actually move on creating the infrastructure to support the jobs, for the hardworking American new jobs that isn't done by immigrants, right? How long does it take to make that? And how long of a trade war economy? I mean, yeah, it was, the economy does matter.
And by the way, the whole
Longer
picking the
hours
food
don't.
thing,
Longer hours
that's a
doesn't mean
bullshit
you working
comment,
harder.
honestly, because for decades and decades in places like California or over there are day laborers who will come over from Mexico, work during the day, and then at night they will go back to Mexico. That's literally what they do every single day. They're day laborers, and they will literally do
But
this.
y'all, but
They
you
won't
don't want that.
they
You
won't
want
they won't
made in
come over and work a
America.
field and sneak away and go live somewhere else. No, they'll go back to
But
Mexico and they
you're
have their
playing.
jobs.
You trying to
So
play both
companies can
sides of the
still hire
fence.
people from Mexico to pay them.
You're still playing. You're trying to play both sides of the fence. Do you want American made or do you want outsiders made? Because you want,
Having
like
a
you
work
said.
visa to come over and work is
Oh my
not
God,
illegal.
I'm not talking about a work visa. I'm talking about how you want it. You just speaking about having things American made. Oh no, but now they got a work visa. No, they still are Mexicans. They probably only have it for 6 months and got to take a break. I'm talking about
Wait, hold on. Doing the
Americans.
labor does not make it a foreign made product.
Oh my God. Okay, go ahead, Haitian or somebody else.
Well,
Mike,
he did
Mike.
kind of address the disparity in a way with the economy that you brought up by mentioning that, there's the day workers.
Day
And they're not
workers.
illegal.
Oh yeah,
They're
but
not
even
his
illegal.
if they're
whole
not,
point
let's
was
let's
made.
back it a
They do
little
what
Go,
they
bit.
do
go.
and they
Never
go
mind.
back to Mexico. Those are not illegal people.
So
That's
you
fine.
expect them to take over all the manufacturing jobs and
No.
things
Oh
that
my god,
immigrants
no.
can't do?
Actually, robots
I'm
are
asking for
probably
clarity.
is the cheapest option
I'm down
for
with
a lot of
robots doing
stuff.
it too.
I don't think
I
I
don't get
don't.
what you're advocating for, bro. It's almost like you're
No,
like, oh,
why do you keep putting advocating in my statement? Like I never brought
because
up
you said
advocating.
who's
You
gonna do
did.
those jobs.
No, no. I asked you if you want made in America because y'all want to deport. You don't have a problem with deporting all the immigrants. Then who? Yes, who will do those jobs? If you want everything made in America, who? Who will? Hold on real quick. You trying to come up?
You could just say, look,
Oh,
I'm for
never mind.
fair trade, not abusing abusive tactics and sweatshops, and I'm for fair trade in a world centric place because that's where we live. We need to exchange things between each other. And in reality, America's a big consumer, right? So if we are creating more stuff, then we'll consume less and we could be exporting more. So that's good theoretically for
May
the
I ask a
economy.
question?
Go ahead. If you're on Clubhouse, jump in. If you want to speak, go ahead.
Cool.
If you're on
Qu-
Clubhouse, go ahead.
Quentin asked who would you have do those jobs? I heard somebody say get the inmates. Is that what he said?
Yes, Mike said that ignorant shit.
Okay. My question is,
How's
are
that
you
ignorant?
then are you I no I'm asking a question if it's okay. Uh are you then advocating for slavery?
Well, wait, how's that
Because I
slavery?
also heard
Well,
you say
prisons,
you don't I also
profits and
heard you don't
prisons
have
is a
to.
bit of that.
Wait, hold on. How's that
Let Mike
slavery?
answer. Let Mike answer that
Hey,
question.
How
hey,
would
Mike,
can
that
we
can
get
you
how is
one
answer
that
at
that?
one at a
slavery?
time
They
over
keep
there?
they go
The
they
brother
keep
asked the
what so
question. He would like to get a straight answer from one
Because
person.
and the reason I'm asking is because I also heard the same person say you don't have to pay them. That is slavery.
I never said you don't have to pay them. I said you pay them a whole lot less because honestly, if there's prisoners doing it, right, they make what you give them the commissary stuff. So they get like what $2 an hour maybe because they're inmates. I mean, dude, inmates pick up trash on highways. They how do you think license plates get made in most states? The inmates are the ones pounding out those license plates. They have the
Even
So they
machine.
more
get
than that.
40 something cents an hour.
Well, yeah, right, 40 cents. Well, either way, it's gonna be less than you pay the illegals.
Ignorant shit.
No,
Okay.
You
I
hear?
don't
You
like
see?
So
that
Now,
so you
idea,
now,
do
now
but
they're
thank
now
you.
they're
so
creating
you are
prisons
advocating
in,
for a form of slavery.
No, I'm not
in
advocating. No,
Salvador.
because
It's not a
the
form
people
of
that are
slave.
inmates did something to get there.
It's not a form of
So
slavery when
therefore,
we
And someone
already
put
wait, wait,
use
Diego.
the
I'm
inmates to
I'm
do
just trying
slavery
to
Inmates,
jobs.
understand. I'm trying to
inmates,
understand your thinking.
inmates.
I'm trying to understand
I'm
your
so sorry to
thinking.
interrupt you guys.
and I apologize for everything, but inmates and illegal immigrants are two
Hold on.
different things. Like inmates
Agreed.
are
But
there
Diego is
because they
actually
did
what you're
they
talking
did
about.
te- they did terrible things. And as an immigrant like myself, I came here at 5 years old. You know, I didn't have a choice. My mother brought me here at a young age, and all of a sudden I'm considered same pay as an immigrant. No, it's not going to happen like that, and it's never going to happen like that. I think that you guys have the wrong idea when it comes to inmates or illegal immigrants trying to improve themselves in a fucking nation that has more opportunity from where I came from. You know what I'm saying? And not all immigrants deserve, fucking 50 cents or fucking 1 hour, uh, $1 an hour type of shit. Like we're not.
Mike might think so.
Nobody deserves that. But
You
Yeah,
know
no,
what I'm
it,
saying?
it,
we
Like
gotta
it
let
wasn't.
like
Taylor
like I
apologize.
No,
improved
no,
myself and
Mike.
I'm still an
I
immigrant
want to
as
jump
we
in here
speak.
for a second. I know you've been having a banter
Bro,
for a
I
while.
know shit about. Okay, go
I,
ahead.
yeah, I want to jump in here for a
Yeah,
second
I'm
because
I'm
I've
I'm on
actually.
DACA
Hey,
right now
hold
because
on,
of
hold on,
Obama.
Diego.
I'm
Hold
on
on,
DACA
y'all.
right
Hold
now.
on, Diego, because
Thank
we
you,
got a
Marty.
brother
Thank
on
you, Marty.
chatter trying to
I,
speak real quick. Go
All right,
ahead.
for sure,
yeah,
bro.
I want to answer that question, right? And I'm gonna answer a couple others because, and Mike, I'm telling you to hold on for a second because in what you're saying, I don't know if it's not being received, but I don't yet see the wrong in it because right now, if we're saying, I'm gonna just take you saying, let's use the inmates versus the immigrants, right? If we're saying that illegal immigrants, because we do know illegal immigrants do work a lot of farming, a lot of jobs that we as Americans may not want to do. If you're saying due to deportation, let's migrate some of the inmates in there to do some of these jobs, keyword, I don't see the issue. They're
but that's the
already in
thing though,
prison,
Jay.
yes, having to pick up
But that's the
trash on the
thing though,
side of the
Jay. That's
highways,
not all we
do stuff.
can do.
One
That's
second, one
not all
second,
we can do
one
though.
second,
That's
one second,
Hold,
one
hold on,
second, one
Diego.
second, one
Let's
second,
let him finish real quick. Make
bro.
his
We
point.
don't just do
one
farming though,
second, one
bro.
Yeah,
second, one
Diego.
I
second.
work
Diego,
for
hold on.
Chase,
You
so
can jump
like
back
that's the
in.
thing,
We
bro.
Let
You can't.
Marty finish.
One
Let
Club,
mic
Marty
on
clubhouse,
finish.
club,
Marty.
Yeah, we
clubhouse,
got him.
clubhouse.
I'm
One
trying to
second.
make sure he
Clubhouse,
understand
you
over
gotta hold
here.
on.
Yeah.
Marty's in the building. You gotta let him
Hold on.
go,
Let me just
please.
finish. Let me just finish this off, right? Because they're already doing jobs and being paid incredibly slavery wage. If you want to talk about slavery, that's slavery wage, and they're not getting any other form of benefits to this. Now, those some jobs that I would agree to allowing some of them do, there's already inmates who do get those abilities, those privileges to get to do some jobs. Now, you open up to where they get to do more things that can grant them skills that they can now use to hold a potential full-time job the moment they get out, exactly where they were just working at, versus just picking up some trash or putting some plates or building something that they'll never see again. Yeah, no, I don't see the issue in that because we talk about prison reform all the time. How is allowing them to go work actual job? No, they won't get paid actual real minimum wage, but they'll get paid more than that 40 cents an hour that they're getting to put those plates together, and they'll actually get some form of, a skill. They'll skill. No, I'm not talking about nobody in there serving no life sentence. What's the waste, right? Nobody's talking about that. But now on the other note of comparing, nobody was comparing immigrants to inmates, to the other gentleman. Nobody's comparing immigrants to inmates. That's not what's happening here at all. And then the other thing in regards to deporting, I can be for deportation and not be against the legal immigrants who are coming over on a work visa to do either day labor or 6 month labor or 12-month labor or 15-month labor. They're coming in through a legal form for a company, working specifically for a company, and it is a legal form of way. So somebody who is against, I mean, excuse me, somebody who is for or with deportation and has no problem with that, that does not mean that they are also contradicting themselves by being okay with someone legally coming in on a work visa, whether it was for a day or 6 months. So that's what I wanted to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's a load of bullshit. To be
That's
honest
cool.
with
That's cool. But please tell me how it's a little
you.
bullshit.
Hold on, and
Don't
that's
just tell
Marty
me it's
too.
bullshit. Tell
And
me how it's bullshit.
but this is Quentin Mason. Just so if you
Oh no, no, I
remember
remember your voice,
from
bro.
back in
I
the
know.
day. Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead, go ahead,
I
please.
just think y'all are advocating to allow and Marty, you of all people to sit here and advocate for inmates to work more jobs and work more. It's so crazy because you have those brothers and sisters or just people out there in California who are living in the mountains, fighting fires, big ass fires, abnormally huge these times of years. And when they get free, they can't even get a job when they get free from the same people they learned, and it was in a
because
um
as of right
uh,
now, there's
it,
not a system in place. As of right now, they're
and so what y'all advocating for? What makes
That's
you think this
No,
bullshit.
system
no,
gonna
no.
be in
That's
place
my
by
point,
then
though. That's my
too?
point. I'm not just because I'm advocating for it doesn't mean it's gonna happen right now, overnight, at a flip of a switch. Once again, if we were to trade off the illegal immigrants for those inmates to work some of those jobs, obviously a system would have to be in place. Now, I'm not advocating it for it to be something to where they can't work or can't potentially get the job. Yeah, you're right. Them going to do that firefighting shit and then getting out maybe 6 months, 2 years later after doing it a few times and hold zero possibility of maybe getting a job there. I mean, obviously their record would matter, but have zero possibility of getting a job there if they could qualify for it. I'm not with that. So that's what I mean by a system in place. Now,
But you talking about putting things in place? It's not done
it would
now,
have to
and they're
be,
already
things would
doing
have
it.
to be
And
put in
and the,
place,
and the
no?
sad part is
Yeah, it's called
they
prison
need to.
reform.
They're actually lacking in firefighters, and those brothers and sisters that got the training and like on hand training to do it can't even get a job, and they lack firefighters, and
That's
those
my
people can't
point.
get
That's
hired.
my point.
And so
I'm
you
I'm
telling me
with you.
people that's gonna be. No, I'm saying, but you telling me people that's gonna go that like I mean, jail people already do a lot of things. It's really like just it's open slavery for real. When you think about it, they're making
Yes.
license plates or tables or and all types of shit
Yes.
that we
Yes.
might take for granted.
Using the
And,
word
And they're
and
doing that
Quentin,
for
Quentin, let me end
nothing.
with this so I can
And you
let
want
the
to
other
give
guys
them
go in.
more jobs? But this is the thing though. When you start thinking like that, bro, that means you need a bigger system to for the police to go out there and crack more heads and lock more people up for
Oh
dumb
my
shit or
god.
petty shit
Hey, let me get
No,
just
in
no,
to
there
no, no.
for a
But
just
minute.
Quentin,
to
see how
just to get more inmates in to get free labor. And
Quentin,
don't tell me it's bullshit when it's literally what's going on now. You just gonna
No,
expand it to
Marty's
a
talking
Quentin,
bigger
about
level
teaching
Quentin, hold
because
on,
giving
one
because
them
because
second, one
skills.
second,
American
one
hold up,
second, one
because
second, one
American
second.
has a consumption level that can't nobody feed. But go ahead, I'm done
Quentin,
for a
listen.
second.
You brushed over any form of possibility of any positive and immediately went to the negative of what could
Right.
potentially become it,
Well,
how it
show me
could
the
What
potentially
positives of
positive are
what
you
the
become.
pointing
recent
out
You
by
mayor.
immediately
hiring
went to
by
no, but
locking
that's
Yeah,
more
hold
people
up.
up to
no.
give
Hold
them
on.
You
more
immediately
jobs
that's that.
for pennies on the
I want
dollar?
to
You went
talk
right
stats. I
to
want to talk numbers. Los
bro.
Angeles is the homeless
Hold on.
capital of the
You went
United
right
Water,
States,
to
if
water. We
not
got
the
you. When,
world.
when when he's done, we're gonna go back to
All
you,
right.
water. When Marty finishes to come at the
you
clubhouse,
went yeah
you can
yeah yeah. As
speak,
soon as
bro.
I'm done, we're gonna push right back to Clubhouse. You went right to how they're gonna use it as take advantage of to go lock more people of this, that, and the third. Bro, there's many reasons. We could talk for days on the bullshit that people get locked up for, the systemical shit. We could do that for hours and on and on and on. But that's not what we're doing here. If we're gonna address something, we have to at least be able to address it. Or I mean, everything has a negative. If that's the case, we just go straight to the negatives and don't even think about the positives. No, bro. Right now, there, if you can't even think to see any form of positive, bro, you have inmates right now sitting in jail doing 2, 3 years off of some dumb shit, not a non-violent crime. Bro, you don't think in those 2, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years that they're in there, that the potential of them versus doing earning 40 cents an hour on some real slavery labor, making some tables, all that bullshit, like you said, you think that's better than them potentially owning what, doing what, a farming job, a kitchen job, or some shit like that, getting paid
Being
what,
productive to
five, getting
society.
at doing what, getting paid $5 an hour. You know what I'm saying? And actually what, getting building relationships, whatever the case, to where in that system they would potentially, depending on the inmate, depending on cases, all that shit, being able to get a job in that field that they were working in when they come out. Bro, that's a much better, and that's reform. When we talk about prison reform, we got dudes sitting in there just eating up time, not doing shit. Give them the ability to actually get a job, a real job outside of prison, coming in and out on a bus. Yeah, it's gonna take some. Obviously, it would take some planning. It would take some writing down, and you would make sure people not getting their heads screwed over. It's called actually putting a plan in place. But that right there is a whole lot better than letting them sit in there doing nothing. And if we're deporting immigrants who are doing these jobs, why not use the inmates who are just sitting there doing nothing?
And
I
not only
agree.
that, like
I
think about it like
agree.
this. I just want to say this real quick. Think about it like
Can I
this.
get
What
in
Maury's
line,
saying.
please?
Like, so let's just go hypothetical here, so we all can have a basis here. Let's say the illegal immigrants getting paid $10 an hour. Minimum wage is $12 an hour. So they're giving the illegal $10 an hour because they don't want to pay the minimum wage. Now you have an inmate do it. You give the inmate $5 an hour. Now to
Oh
say
my
now,
god.
hold on. Now, not only is it cheaper to pay to have the inmate do it, the inmate, you could even set up a plan where the inmate has a thing where the guy's collecting money and sending it to a kid he has, sending it to somebody else. So his
Y'all
direct
sound
deposit
like
actually gets
scammers.
built up, and he doesn't get to use it to buy cigarettes or buy shit inside the jail. He's actually building stuff for a family member outside of jail. Maybe it's a dude who's doing 20 years. And then also, I agree with prison reform. Teach them trades. Teach these guys how to cook. Maybe when they get out, they go to become a line cook somewhere. And teach these guys how to weld. Teach these guys how to code. Teach these guys how to do something. Hell, the guy goes out there. He's doing 20 years. They
Oh
show
my
him how to
god.
do a farm. He goes and starts picking food on the farm. Then all of a sudden, he has a knack for it. Now he's done. Now he's gotten to programs where he can get his sentence down. Now he's like, fuck,
Oh,
dude. When I
this
get out of
one.
here, I don't want to go back to jail because I like doing this shit. Next thing you know, the guy figures out how to innovate a fucking way we pick fucking corn or some shit. Next thing you know, this guy's unlocked the
Oh,
hidden
he's got it
potential.
all
And will
figured
y'all
out now.
please
I get
stop
it.
it? Please, let's let my guy Water go real quick, cause y'all is on some real bullshit.
I
But
appreciate
I'm gonna
y'all,
let Water
fam.
go real quick, cause I'm when he's done, I'm back on y'all ass with this shit. But go Water, go ahead, man.
Yeah, other
Wagwan,
people want to
wagwan. I
get
just
in.
wanted to tap in real quick, say good evening to everybody, and just address the numbers. Right? Let's just talk numbers. Get the emotions out the way. Los Angeles has a jail called Twin Towers. It's nicknamed Twin Towers. It's the largest jail in the United States of America. Guess what else we have a record in? We are the largest homeless capital of the United States of America. This is not a coincidence. So if we have a homeless factory going on, in what fucking reality do you live in where that's going to change? Cuz it's not here. It's never going to be here. There's a different agenda when it comes to jail. So there is no reform. There's a reset if we get rid of it. And that's what we need to do because all those jobs you're talking about, I'm around vineyards right now. Robots can do all that shit. Picking food, robots can do all that shit. And on top of it, growing that much in one area of one crop is called monoculture. And that's negative. That's not something you want to strive for. That's basically a castle with a moat of food around you to hide your ass, right? So it comes back to producing. I want Mexican recipes. I want Mexican producers to be proud of where they're from and sharing their culture with us. That's what America's about. We got Greeks opening up restaurants. We got Chinese open up restaurants. It's about getting in where you fit in. And if you ain't fucking proud, I don't care where you're from. If you're not proud of your home country, get the fuck out of here. Cause we're not your fucking toilet. Period.
I have no idea where that came from.
Wait, what?
Well, I don't know. He made his
I
point.
lived
That
in
just went. I
LA. That's
mean,
where it
me.
fucking came
Maybe it's
from.
me. Maybe that went over my
LA
head.
on fire.
And I'm no political expert. I came from being a hairdresser. I'm a broker. I have a brokerage now.
Well, that
I'm no
says it
political
all.
expert. But here's my logic.
Some fucking hairstylist? She thinks she's gonna get good.
Okay, yeah,
She's
comedy.
wondering
Yeah,
why
we
she's
now you good.
confused.
We kicked
Yeah.
them. Go
I'm
ahead.
a
I'm sorry.
hairstylist who. Never
He's
mind.
gone.
Anyway, who said that? I'm a hairstylist. Go on. Talk about.
It was Clubhouse. They ain't got nothing to do with
Nah,
that shit.
they off the stage. He just started talking out the blue. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a hairstylist, and I won't touch anybody's hair unless they pay me $4,000. So I'm that hairstylist, and I'll charge you 2 extra days of travel of 1750 and 1750. So I'm that hairstylist. Anyway, um,
Preach, girl.
Till you age out.
Bitches.
Go on.
I don't fuck around. Anyway, so here's where And maybe, I can't see the future. I can't see us produce. Okay, so for the people who want everything American made, right? You want everything American made, blah blah blah. You guys are talking about immigrants working in these factories and sewing. When I hear American made, I think factory and people sewing. I think it would be amazing if inmates were taught this and learned how to sew. That would be great.
It
But
ain't
aside
happening.
but aside from that, like who who who's going to be working for wages that are low enough to keep things affordable? We can buy t-shirts now. I went to Florida. You could buy a tank top in Walmart for $5, set $3, right? Do you guys think if do you, what Americans do you know, definitely not the generation below us, is going to work for $2 an hour, $3? I have friends in other countries. For the person who yelled out, I'm a hairstylist, yeah, sure, call me a stupid hairdresser, but I'm well traveled. I have friends all over the world. I've done hair in every continent except Antarctica, and that
Well,
person
good. That's a skill. Yeah, it's a
that
skill.
person probably never left the country. But anyway, I have friends who today make 95 cents an hour. And if he makes his quota, he makes $1.25 an hour. This guy is in a shithole right now because he had to, 22 years old, he had to drop out of college to take care of his mom. He had, in fact, I'm just going to get away from that. But do you guys understand how expensive things will be? You're not gonna buy a t-shirt for $5 no more at your country ass fucking Walmart, my man. You're not like who's gonna work?
Tell that to Chatter. They're the
Look,
one
Whatever,
I
advocating for
hear
this
the New
shit.
York accent. I hear the
Ain't
New York
happening.
accent. I'm from
whatever.
Long Island,
Who's gonna work for
and
these
I'm just
low
gonna say,
wages? Who's gonna even New York in New York?
Wages won't be low.
Oh,
you never
really?
been to
That's what we're trying.
Yeah,
California.
No,
hey,
that's what I'm
talk
trying to
to
say.
Chatter
The
about
Okay,
that
wages
so
will
crazy
wait,
get
stuff
wait,
that he
wait,
better.
promoting.
wait, and that's my point. You just proved my point. If I have to pay somebody $15 an hour, you think I'm gonna sell this t-shirt for $3?
What?
If I have to, I'm a business owner. That's my mentality. If I have to pay somebody $15 an hour, how much you think my t-shirts are going to be? You think my t-shirts are going to be $4 or $5? Can anyone? My point is,
No, they're not following you.
I know the
No, I get
price.
what you're saying, but
No, you don't, because
yes,
you
I
would. If
do.
you
You're
did,
talking
then
about
you would.
overhead
If
costs.
you
When your
did, then
labor
you
costs
wouldn't
go up,
talk.
when your
If you
labor
got
costs
what I
go up,
said, you wouldn't talk. Do you understand what the price is with these tariffs? And everybody's like, yeah, let's produce everything in America. Do you know how much a t-shirt's going to be? It's going to be Barney's price. It's going to
Yeah,
be Bergdorf Goodman
um,
prices.
you're
A
right, and
t-shirt
that's what we
is going to be
do. New York and
$45.
LA setting trends. That's what we do. We overcharge motherfuckers and give
Uh,
slave wages to people. This is the same fucking rebranding.
Right.
American
Okay.
Apparel.
Okay. So let me ask you this. How many t-shirts are you got three daughters? Who's that, Mike?
nah, that was somebody. That was somebody on Clubhouse speaking
Okay,
to
well,
you.
whoever it is, if you need to buy three onesies for your babies, and those onesies are $35, how's that going for you? I'm going on mute.
Sure, you're making a ton of sense. The average American makes what, like $50,000 a year? Good
Which is
luck.
less than my rent.
Exactly. But it's like good luck getting everything made in America that you're buying now, your everyday items, for the price they would cost. It would be ridiculous. No one would be able to afford it.
Yeah. Well,
And
y'all
yet
are
they
on
want,
Chatter.
yet
Why
they
didn't y'all
want the
say this to
tariff
the
war.
people on Chatter with y'all? Y'all are on Chatter.
Oh yeah,
This is the
listen.
people
The
that are
fact
speaking.
the whole jobs coming here thing. There might be certain jobs that can come back here in regards to what telecommunications, where call centers, stuff like that. But with straight out factories, we don't have the here infrastructure, the time it would take to even build those things. There's so much things that are that land before we even get to where you're at. But yes, when we do get there, yes, you're right. Because at the end of the day, as all that time would go on, let's keep it real. Americans here, we're fighting for wages. Right now, there's people literally dying for wages right now. And now these jobs finally do get here. First of all, half of them are going to go to robots. Let's just keep it real. Half of them are going to robots anyways. Let's just
Nah.
half,
But let's not miss.
3/4 of them are going to robots. It was talked about
But
at
I
the
want y'all to go back to y'all slave labor conversation about about hiring
no, bro.
inmates and
Listen,
saying, "Oh, we
Quentin,
paying
Quentin, Quentin.
immigrants
You can't
10, we
don't
gonna charge them 5."
Quentin,
Like,
Quentin. Listen,
that's what that bullshit that
listen, Quentin.
Mike and Marty was on.
Quentin, listen. When the inmate thing, right? That was the hypothetical that Mike was giving, and I was showing you that even though it's a hypothetical, if it were a hypothetical that was to be in regards to a trade-off from immigrants to inmates, it would be a good one. In regard, obviously, it wouldn't be
No, it would.
all, but that's not what's happening. We were just talking about a hypothetical. You know what I'm saying? But
Oh, now it was a
yeah, I mean that's a
hypothetical.
hypothetical, bro.
Okay,
Nobody's advocating for
okay.
that right now. Nobody's pushing to get inmates out of jail to start working, you know, as a trade for the immigrants
Okay.
getting deported.
Because I was confused on I'm just still confused on how y'all think even as a hypothetical would that how that could even come true with
No, it's not,
how the
bro. It's
economy works
yes.
today.
Even thinking about it, there's no way to see how it could come true. But once again, that's the point. It's a hypothetical, bro. It's like
Yeah,
No, I know
and
what
hypotheticals.
for
hypothetical
nothing.
is. I just wish
Can
y'all
I
wouldn't
jump
make
in on that?
bullshit hypotheticals like it could
No,
really happen if
bro.
this,
But
this, and this
I
happen.
mean, if we're bro, I mean, half the shit we talk about end up being hypotheticals, bro.
Absolutely,
Can
and
I jump
nothing,
in on
So
that,
y'all,
please?
so
not
y'all
for
just in here
nothing.
wasting
And
time.
Quentin, you're my man.
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Not for
Queen. Go ahead.
nothing. And Quentin, you're my man. But however, you make it like inmates are these amazing people who contributed to society. They got themselves in some shit, so they're gonna have to eat some shit.
Nah, I
May
bullshit.
I jump in on that, please?
Go
Shit.
Well,
ahead,
had
Masha.
they made better decisions, then they wouldn't have to accept jobs like that. No shade.
Nah, that's bull. And who's just because they in jail don't mean they have to accept the job. But I'm gonna let the brother wants to speak real quick. Masha, go ahead.
Yeah, I want a couple of things about that inmate conversation. I've worked that industry. Okay, so a couple of things. One, the punishment is the time away from society. What you're advocating is adding additional punishment on top of being taken out of society. That's the way our laws are made. Two, the other big thing is somebody brought up the wildfire. That's a good thing to bring up. And
I
in
did.
Michigan, agriculture is a good thing to bring up. Here's the problem with both of those. To go to one of the big horticulture places here in Michigan, the first thing they do is run your criminal record. If a person comes out here and he has a criminal record and it is not a special program, then he will not get hired. The same thing is true in California. If you look at the requirements to be hired as a firefighter, even though he did 5 years in the joint in California, fighting fires, and he's an expert at it. It doesn't matter when they run his record; it shows this felony on his record. He's precluded from being hired. He's not going to be hired. That is the problem with that idea there. You may give them the skills, but if they don't have a place to apply the skills when they get out of prison, you just can recontribute to the recidivism rate. So that is the problem there. If you can get away from that, if you can cause that that criminal record not to count against them since they already have the skills because they learned them in prison, then you may have something. But you always have to consider when people get out of prison what they're going to do when they get out, where they're going to go, how they're going to work, what are they going to do to make sure they don't come back. That's the one thing I have to deal with. Have had to deal with is the recidivism rate. Why do they keep coming back? And a lot of times it's I couldn't find a job, I couldn't find a job, I couldn't find a job. And in the prisons right now, they train them to cut hair. They train them to be cooks, chefs. They train them to work agriculture. They train them. California say firefighters, all of that. these same people do not get out of prison and get jobs in their industry because of the same criminal record where they learn that particular skill. So that's the problem you're gonna run into that.
Hey, brother, that said he was the correctional officer. Appreciate that. A lot of valid points in that right there. Right.
Can I talk for a minute, or how does this work?
Who's that?
Go ahead, sir.
Get in where you fit
There you
in.
go.
Well, we have Diego that wants to speak
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
beginning
I
of the
crossed your border illegally at 5 years old. So if anybody can say anything in this conversation, it'd probably be me. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'll be more than happy to go ahead and answer
Are
those
you
for you
legal
guys.
now?
Yes.
How long did it
Where you
take you to
live?
become legal?
I'm going
How
ice.
what?
Now, this is a
Where you
dumbass
stay?
question. Ignore him, Diego. I got a question for you. So,
Yeah, go
what's up
for it.
with the
I'm on
corruption with the
DACA.
That was a real
cops in
I'm
question.
on
Mexico?
DACA.
You got to bribe them to get out of tickets. When is that going to happen in LA, America, with an influx? You see that coming down the pipeline over here, inevitably?
Sorry, bro. Can you repeat your question once again? I missed the initial part.
So,
I'm sorry about that.
so the current corruption in Mexico, the reason why people are fleeing Mexico is because of the corrupt cartel that runs the police. You
Correct.
have to bribe, right? You have to bribe your way out of fucking tickets. You know, you got to really dodge them harder than you actually have to dodge the American police. So if we're accepting DACA, like you just put in the chat, to
Right.
become police officers, it's going to be an inevitable transition for the cartel to be taking over the police if they already haven't in LA. So it's like, when do we shut it down in Mexico? Because that's the only way we're gonna actually slow down in LA.
It's not going to slow down anytime soon. Okay. And the reason for that being, the reason why we flee Mexico is because it's a tradition, bro. Like, you don't understand growing up in that kind of poverty. And I come from the two most ruthless parts in Mexico, which is Michoacan and Sinaloa. If you guys were to fucking Google that shit, it's probably where the most ruthless narcotics or cartels come from. Okay.
Yeah, but don't lie.
And the
Also,
reason why
buying
we
that
flee this way
tamales.
is because we're trying to get away from that. Otherwise, we would be stuck to doing that. Okay. Now, with that being said, there is a lot of corruption, even in LA, even with the police officers in LA. It's all gang
No, they
related.
sell crack to the fucking Skid Row. We already know, and they traffic. Yeah, yeah. Go on.
Yeah, and they charge tariffs to the fucking to los callejones in LA. Like it's all MS-13 related. Mexican mafia related. Like at the end of the day, it's all a cycle of things. You know what I'm saying? But it's not fair for me to listen to this chat and saying we're gonna fucking take $5, an hour to fucking pick up tomatoes. Like we didn't come here for that. And not everybody's gonna pick up tomatoes. That's the thing too. Like I came here at 5 years old, grew up in Long Beach, one of the fucking biggest cities in California. You know what I'm saying? Like we come here to change, to make a difference in life. We don't just come here to fucking take advantage of the U.S. Institute or all of their benefits. We don't do that here. We're not fucking Venezuelans,
Right,
and don't
and you're
compare
not
I
trying to be
don't
Mexico
taken
to
mind if
that.
advantage
you do.
of by the U.S.
I don't mind if you do, but just be proud of where you're from. Clean the
No,
shit up
don't
over there
No,
so it
but
don't
that's
don't
what I was
take.
saying
trickle
earlier. You
over
guys,
We
you
here.
don't
can't
come here like
exploit
that. We don't
illegal
come here like that
laborers.
though. We don't
Duh.
come here like
But
that
you're
though.
telling me,
We don't come
me,
here like
oh,
No,
it's
Venezuelans.
bad over
Venezuelans,
there.
man.
no,
And I have nothing against what Venezuelans. I understand where they come from, but we don't come here like that. We don't fucking take advantage of the fucking of society. We don't come here to fucking benefit from Social Security or other benefits or whatever the fucking case may be. We're hardworking people. We just want to fucking advance and take care of our families. That's all we want to do and make a difference in this fucking nation. We don't do that shit,
Right, that's
and
literally what
and
I've been
and
trying to
that's
tell you.
That's
cool.
Like,
the issue, though.
the
Like,
exploitation
Even
of
though
illegal
even
Hey,
though
hey,
laborers
one
causes
mic,
Venezuelans,
y'all.
insane
Let
no,
Diego
no.
situations
finish.
and not
Listen,
have to give health insurance.
no, Mike, you got to stop that. That's not what Quentin was saying. That's not what he was saying. He said what he
That
was
that
saying
no,
was,
that was
if you're
Diego
going to
talking.
deport these guys, it's going to be an issue trying to replace them. That's what he was saying. He didn't.
Oh,
He
okay.
wasn't promoting. He wasn't promoting that shit that you're saying. Okay, so if you're gonna
No,
make up
they're
a hype,
not.
listen. That's what you just. That's what
There's
you're saying.
nothing
He
to
we're saying
replace.
that's not what he said.
There's nothing to
That's
replace,
not what he
bro. There's
said.
nothing
So
to replace.
if we're gonna
I'm
make
not
up a
desperate.
hypothetical, and let's be positive about this, I'm gonna propose another hypothetical, and it can be stupid, right? If we got these illegal immigrants or whatever, right, and we got them in this country, and they're working and they're paying taxes and they're trying to become American citizens. Okay, let's say they do this for 10 or 15 years, and they've been paying taxes, they've been going to work, whatever the case may be. Maybe it's a way that we could write in the law, if you do this for a certain amount of period of time, that you could be a citizen. What about that? Is that stupid?
That gonna
Why
require
wouldn't you just
a
go
change
Can I
in the
say
in
something or
that
no?
amount
Constitution.
of
Or
time? Why
or
wouldn't you just
That
go through the process of becoming a
can I,
citizen?
But see,
can I say something
you
or
still
what?
trying to fight. You still trying to be negative, Mike.
No, I'm not
bro,
trying. No, you're
you're
trying
But
to.
still talking.
You're trying to
You got
segue around
what's
it.
microphone in
wrong?
your
But
mouth.
what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong with what I just said, though.
Nothing. But during that time,
Okay,
so
then.
what was
All right, then.
what time
You
frame?
got
What
it.
time?
Go ahead with your
You
negative
can't do
shit,
that.
then.
If you want to have a conversation, have a conversation, John. Like, okay,
Because
in
you just
that
try to
time,
be negative. I'm
in
just
that
asking you
time
what's
frame.
wrong with
Bro,
if they're working,
you're
if they've
starting
been
with
here
negative.
15 years and they've been paying taxes like citizens, like they've been doing,
How are they
right?
paying taxes?
They pay taxes just like everybody else in this
How,
country, right?
You sound like a colonizer, bro. You
bro?
won't
Can
clean
you
your
guys
own
just
fucking
walk down this
country
road with
up
me?
before
How?
you come here.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, bro. You got it, man.
No, you're saying they're working and
Hey,
they're
hey, hold
paying
on, real quick. Who
taxes.
is that brother that's
Right.
speaking about me? And say my name. Who is
How?
that? What's his name? Not Mike.
I'm not saying they don't, guys. Look, I'm not saying they don't. I'm asking Big Man to let's walk down this road, Big Man. How are those guys? How are those people you're referring to paying taxes?
Do they not
Is
buy
his
they
name
buy
Big
No,
houses
Man?
don't
and stuff,
answer a
right?
I
question with a
pay my
question.
taxes every year.
They buy houses, right?
Hold on,
They buy
Diego.
cars, right?
I pay my
Right.
taxes every year, bro. I'm an immigrant.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what
Right.
Mike is talking about. Like, Mike,
Well, no,
like you
because
just
the
trying to
I'm
no,
an
be
hold on.
right.
The
immigrant,
guy
bro.
who's
You
I
just
pay
talking
trying
my
to
who
be
taxes
right
says
at
every
this
year.
point.
hold on. The guy who's talking who says he's an immigrant, you're legal now, right?
I'm illegal, bro. I came here not invited. You know what
No,
I'm
no, I'm
saying? Like
saying
I'm
now,
an
right
immigrant.
now, you're legal.
Probably not.
I'm not. I'm not.
Yes,
I'm
he
under
is.
DACA, bro.
He's
I'm
under
not. I'm
DACA.
not
Yeah.
officially legal. That's what you don't
That's what I'm
understand.
saying.
I'm not officially legal.
You're under DACA, so you're technically not illegal,
He's
Yeah, because
protected.
I crossed the border illegally.
but you're not. Were you working at
See,
five
Don't
it's a
years
bite your
old?
tongue
complicated
Were you
now.
working at
situation
5
for
years
you
old?
to
All
have an
right, so look,
opinion on
Were you
because you
paying
don't
taxes
understand
at
the
5 years old, bro? What are we talking
circumstances.
about right now?
that's the
All I'm asking you
whole
guys,
point.
I
That's
get
the
it.
whole point of this
They're giving these tax
news.
ID numbers. There's certain ones that are giving social security numbers. Someone even mentioned that they're
I have a
paying taxes.
social
They're contributing a
security
couple
number. Let's
billion
get it
dollars to the
straight, bro.
system.
Let's get
Oh,
it
they're paying a
straight. I have
federal
a
Yeah,
tax.
social
he
security
You know
has
how
a
number.
much it cost? You know how
social.
many billions it costs to have them here? So the amount of money they're
Pause,
What are you
contributing
pause,
to
talking
the
about, bro?
tax,
pause,
I work for
pause.
the amount
Chase,
of money
bro.
they're contributing
I
to the
have all
taxes
my
does not
series
Look,
outweigh the amount
licenses,
of money it
Hey,
costs
hold
to
on,
have them here.
Diego. Hey, Mike, you making a lot of assumptions, and
bro. Yeah, he
hold on,
don't
and
even
you
know the
got Diego
details,
right
bro. He don't
here
know.
Oh
He don't
my
even know
explaining to
God!
you
facts.
what
he
the
don't know
process is. I
California.
don't get it. Hold on, real quick, Water. Mike, you got Diego right here because everything you said, bruh's telling you it's not right, and Diego's sitting right here saying he's not a full
He's DACA, bro.
citizen yet, and he's through DACA. But you not even letting him making his point. You still just
He's
it can't
probably
be
paying
real. It can't be
taxes.
this. You can't do that. Let Diego tell you what's going on because you had assumed earlier that it doesn't take 20 years to get your papers. It takes a few months. It takes a year or two. Well, but Diego's here to explain his side of the story since we
I never
got
said that.
a
It's on
live one
average 10
right
years.
here. Oh, whatever you say. Go ahead. Diego's here to explain. Ask him, but allow him to respond. Though you can't be asking him a question and then respond while he's talking to you.
What?
The only thing I ask you guys is not to put immigrants in a fucking cookie cutter box because we're not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't choose to come here. Okay, they brought me here at 5 years old, and that's why I'm on DACA. But ever since I've been here, I've tried to make the most out of my time here to be a good contribution to the nation. I've gotten my series license. I've sold houses in
You are,
California as
brother.
a realtor. I've done my mortgage loan originator license in several different states. Yeah, whether it's Texas, Florida, Indiana, California, I've been through it all. Now I'm getting people out of debt. I'm changing lives here in the nation. I talk to people that are in debt every fucking single day. So for you to say that, oh, how about we just give these immigrants $5 an hour? I just don't think
What?
that's fair, man. Like, you
Bro,
know what I'm saying?
nothing
Like,
you
we
said
come
about me
here
is
to
anything
make
I
a
said on here.
change.
I actually, you actually, you know what? You should be talking to the people that are saying
But for
stuff
you to make
about illegals.
assumptions,
You
bro,
actually
for you
agree
to
with
make
me, bro.
assumptions. Okay,
I'm
so ask
saying
me
we should
questions
stop
then.
taking advantage of
I
people that
got
are
I
immigrants.
got
That's
one
what
more
I've been
question
Okay,
for
saying
you,
so
this
ask
whole
me
Diego.
time.
questions then,
And
because
the
I'm
$5
as
an hour thing
immigrant
was
as it
for the
gets.
inmates, not the illegal
Do you
immigrants.
want dual citizenship
Nobody
now? Do
is
you feel more
saying that,
comfortable
Mike.
here
Why
in
do
this
you
home?
keep saying that? Nobody said that.
Yeah.
You guys want to take
So ask me
advantage of
questions,
illegal
bro.
immigrants and pay them low wages because you don't think Americans will do the jobs. That's
Bro,
literally what you
nobody
said.
said that.
Why?
Nobody said that, Mike.
You said, "Who will do the jobs if we deport everybody?" It's literally what you said.
All right,
Yeah,
Mike.
I have a question and ask Diego. Why are you coming at me in the chat about me
Oh, pause. This
doing
hairdresser is
about
centering herself again. Jesus Christ.
are you
Diego, are you more comfortable in America or in Mexico? Obviously, probably America,
I,
but do you
The
see
reason
yourself getting dual citizenship
the
in the
reason
future?
why I
Or are
came
you
here is because I didn't have a choice. That's
word,
why I'm
word, word?
protected by
So, how do
DACA
you
because
feel
I didn't have a
now
choice.
as an adult? Are you mad about that? That your parents
No,
exploited you to get.
of course not. Of course not.
What do you
I'm
mean, of
truly
course
grateful,
not?
but when I was living in Hollywood, I got my job broken.
Well, who did that?
Why do y'all keep removing Diego? And they remove water buffalo water. Hold on, yeah, guys. Hold on.
Yeah, y'all can't remove
I'm
people.
just gonna find somebody. I gotta find y'all in the thing. Yeah, keep the conversation go. Don't wait. Don't wait. I
Well, I
got
will
you,
say
Can I
this.
Diego.
Look,
talk or
I'm like I find it weird if people are saying, "Look, I live in South Florida,
can I
and
talk
I
or
knew a
what?
dude who used to go to he had a roofing business. He'd go to Home Depot and he'd ask for however many people he needed, and he'd give them $100 a day, $100 a day. So now think about this: summertime, South Florida, he would pick up some guy at a Home Depot, pay him $100 a day. The dude would be on a roof every day in South Florida. By the end of the week, he'd get $500. I mean, think about that. Working on a roof in South Florida during the summer, and the dude at the end of the week would have $500. Now, what's going on there is that the guy who has the roofing company, if he hired a citizen or whatever, he wouldn't be able to pay him $100 a day. He wouldn't be able to do that. He'd have to give them a wage. He'd have to have them on the books. He'd probably have to give them health insurance. He'd have to do all kinds of stuff to have an employee. Instead, he pulls up. He's like, "Oh, I need three guys," and he gives them $100. Now the immigrant's like, "Damn, I got a $100 bill." So the immigrant takes the $100 bill and he thinks he got paid good. But in reality, you just had a guy work on a roof and you gave him $500 for an entire week. That's fucked up. Like I'm the one that's fucked up. What's going on? And when you allow all the illegal immigrants to come in, you have these corporations that take advantage of it. They're like, oh fuck it, we can just fucking get this guy and pay him shit wage. Like no, that's fucked up. And when people say, oh, well, if we deport all of them, who's going to do these jobs? Excuse me. So you're so you want to exploit cheap labor? That's fucked
Well,
up.
But
sue
you
the
still can't
company.
answer the
How is
question,
the
Mike.
company paying
What
him
are
under
you
minimum
gonna
wage?
do when they're all gone?
You have competitive wages.
The company's
Yeah,
paying him
fucking
under
right.
minimum wage, according to you. So sue the company.
Well,
Okay,
what?
okay, because I'm really trying to understand what you're saying. So if we deport everybody, if we deport all the illegal immigrants, we have to find people to work the jobs and pay them more. Is that
Correct.
what you're saying?
Well, you'd have to pay him a minimum wage. You have to give him benefits, and the wages
Well,
would
no,
become
no, no, no. You
competitive.
can't pay them minimum wage because they're gonna want more. Those
No,
jobs,
you pay
those
him the.
jobs, those type of those that little job you talking about, those roofing jobs, that's not minimum wage, buddy.
No, of course not. You pay him.
Right.
You pay what a
Hey,
roofer
but
gets.
hold on. Do you, Mike? Do you know what minimum wage is? Like at the average from the South to maybe California. Do you know what the minimum wage is in the South? Period.
I think it fluctuates. Right now in Florida, it's gone up. I think it's at 12 something. Some places it's different, but either way, it's more than what they're paying the illegal immigrants.
It's $7.25. Federal minimum wage is like $7.25, and this is what you're screaming about. Yeah, just paying minimum wage. Like I don't even think you're doing the proper
What?
research. on the statements you're making, because if you think Americans, even though people in Georgia, our minimum wage is $7.25, you won't even find a job that will even put that bullshit on a piece of paper saying you getting paid that much,
Well,
because they know ain't nobody coming for no 7.25.
Exactly, Queen.
And the
correct.
fact is, if you gonna start you a business and you complain about, oh, I can't pay my employees and put them on healthcare and XYZ, then maybe you shouldn't be running the business right now. Maybe you need to
Correct.
go back and get more skill, or no, that was your excuse to on how you it should be ran. And you're now, don't correct me because I'm not on your side right now. I'm
It
going
sounds
against
like you
everything
are.
you're saying. No, I'm going against everything you're saying, because you're saying it's okay to pay people minimum wage, and you're complaining about giving them health care and things like that. And yeah, and damn, I gotta spend $100 a week, and now I'm still broke, and they made $100, like five
What?
hundred dollars. Like, no, bro.
I'm saying paying
Everything you
somebody to
just
work
said,
at Wendy's for
are you
100 a week is
not listening to what
bullshit.
you just said,
They
Cuz? Or you
deserve
just
more
speaking
money
for
than that.
on nothing?
And minimum wage,
God
okay.
damn it, this
Look,
motherfucker.
whatever they pay the illegal immigrants is going to be less than whatever they pay in minimum wage. And then you ought to average in when they're paying minimum wage. Now they have to give these employees benefits. Now there's other stuffs involved than the illegal immigrant that you're just paying a fucking $100 bill to and not having to worry about it. You don't have employees on the books. You don't have all kinds of shit. And the wages will become competitive. If no one wants to work for your wages, look what happened with the truck drivers a couple years ago. No one wanted to be a truck driver, right? The truck drivers were low. So then all of a sudden now, did you remember what Walmart? Walmart was like, yo, become a truck driver. You starting salaries 150K because they had to raise the wage because not enough people were doing it. So the wages become competitive. And if you don't have enough people to hire, then your business is gonna go out. So you need to step up to the plate and pay people the correct wages, as opposed to taking advantage of illegal work.
Quinn, I'm
What
gonna
I
tell you
don't
why I
understand with
find it
y'all, you guys
hard.
are
I'm gonna
literally
tell you.
advocating to
Let
pay
me get
people
in here.
less
Let me
because
tell you why.
Yeah, go.
Let me tell you why I
Hold on,
think you're
Mike. Go ahead,
making up.
JD. Okay, this is a real boss right here. He actually
The
own.
reason I think you're
Go
making up.
ahead.
Most people, number one, when people pick up people from Home Depot, it's typically just individuals. Like, I want to get something in my house done. It's not businesses because number one, that's a huge liability. So if you just pick up a roofer to help you do your roof, and then God forbid something happens to somebody, and then you're found out that you're using undocumented workers to build a roof, you know the huge liability. So
what
that's not when
liability? He
people don't go
can't
to
sue
home,
you.
businesses don't go to Home Depot to pick up. And then number two, if you think there is a business that is paying people under the minimum wage, then sue them. And number three, let me tell you this. You all think because people are undocumented, they know undocumented people are protected too. These undocumented people, you guys just think they're stupid people. They know they don't come to this country and that they're going to get paid under minimum wage. Guess what? Because they can sue your ass as a business just like anybody else can.
My God, exactly. And that's someone who actually runs a real business, has real employees. So he ain't just
And
talking
you
out
know
his
the problem
ass
is,
either.
Quinn, the people that advocate all this immigrant bullshit are the ones that are hiring them. All these people that voted for this on the Republican side that voted for this immigration bullshit are the very ones that hire at an alarming rate to undocumented workers come as in comparison. Most of these people, they get on these stages, they get on on the electoral campaign and say, oh, we want to deport all these undocumented workers so that they can get a vote, and then in the background they're hiring them in their factories and all this stuff. And guess what? If Trump and everyone was all this that and on immigration, they would make it harder for businesses to even have undocumented workers, right? Because undocumented workers people can get, what do you call it, a ETIN number? I forget the exact term. They can pay taxes. They can do all that legally. There's no requirement for e-verification. So businesses are still hiring undocumented workers. If this country really did not want undocumented workers here, they would make all that stuff an obstacle for businesses. They don't. They don't.
Thank you, JD. And that's JD right there, just so
Agreed.
y'all know
It should
who
be
you
harder to
talking
hire
to.
illegal immigrants.
But they don't because they're hiring them. And then the thing is, they're fooling people like you, who I'm assuming you voted Trump. I'm not sure. I could be
Full
wrong.
and shit,
But
bro. DeSantis in Florida is going after businesses that hire illegal immigrants. DeSantis is going after them.
But you going after them, but you can put a law in place so they can't even hire them in the first place. But they don't do that.
There's already
And guess
laws in
what?
place they
But
shouldn't be
but but
hired
wait, wait,
under.
wait. What did Trump just? And I'm not going to cut you off anymore. I'm going to end it here. But what's happening now? What was that thing that came out with Trump? Oh, now we have to let undocumented workers back in because the shortage in the farming and hotel industry. Now we have to open the borders back up and allow undocumented workers to work these industries. So yes, there is an issue. All I heard during the campaign trail was how undocumented workers came in to steal black jobs. Guess what? Black unemployment is still roughly the same that it was. We're not seeing any black jobs come about. And now we're even seeing more issues where, like I said, farmers are complaining, hotel industry supposedly is complaining. And here goes your boy Trump. Oh, well, guess we have to open the borders, for these industries. Come on.
They all went to him like he fucking up business. Fucking up my business, Orange man. No more cheap labor. These rooms gonna be $1,000 a night for everybody. Shit. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead with your rebuttals and stuff,
I
man.
don't that I sound like that sounds like it agrees with me. You're right. No more cheap labor. Sorry. And now you're claiming that Trump's opening the border as long as you're allowed to come across the border illegally as long as you work in a hotel and work on a farm. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they want to
It's not
allow,
happening.
go look it up. They want to allow undocumented workers, undocumented, to work because they can't, because the problem is our process takes forever. So they don't have time to sit there and wait for the process to hurry up and fill up these industries.
Right. And then
So
after they're
yes,
done with their work, what do?
they go home and then they work the
Back to
next
their
day. What is that?
country.
No, they don't exit the country.
Right.
A lot of these, that's not how it works. A lot of people stay here their entire lives. They send money back to support their families that they could not get over here. That's what a lot of them
Right. And they
do.
bring them over one by one.
Oh, and real quick, Mike, you made a statement about Walmart and they had to fight for their truckers. Walmart workers, period, more than half of them are living off of government assistance. And the fact that you try to make a point of the truck drivers are making 150K, this and that, you trying to point out a small thing, like, and then you wasn't even correct on the numbers on that. But Walmart overall kills neighborhoods, kills the economy anywhere they put their jobs, they're building up at, but they don't even pay their workers uh, a living wage. They pay them damn near minimum wage, which is not good for the economy. It's not good. So all that, yeah, competitive uh working jobs and stuff don't exist with Walmart. I don't
Hold
know
on.
why
You
you thought to
misquoted me
bring
again.
Walmart
The
up
one I
of
can't.
all people.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I don't get why you thought to bring up Walmart of all industries to talk about their truck drivers are competitive salaries and things like that when majority of Walmart workers as a whole are living check to check, a check away from losing everything and their own food stamps and their own government assistance and they're working full-time hours.
That's a
So
good
I
that's a
think
good
I just
point. That's a good point, bro. That's a
thank you.
great point. So why would you think that we would take away the illegal immigrants and then pay the American people more when we ain't even paying the people we got a fair wage right now?
Okay.
Why would you think that would happen, bro? Mike? Why
You,
why would you
you want to
think
ask
that would
it? You want
happen?
to ask it a third time, or do you just want me to answer it after the two times you asked it?
No, this is I mean, I ain't gonna go
Okay.
back and forth
So
with
the
you. I'm just
Walmart
I'm
thing I brought up was the truck drivers in Walmart. Remember, you got to have a CDL to drive a truck. So truck drivers are a little bit different than people that are just walking around Walmart. Now, Walmart is a fucking fucked up employer because if you know what Walmart does, they really only hire part-time people to work the stores. Because if they have part-time people, they don't have to give them the benefits of a full-time employee. So that's why when you go to Walmart, there's fucking people that work there. They're all over the place. There's thousands and thousands of employees because every single one of them is a part-time worker. And that's how Walmart gets around without having to pay full-time benefits. When I mentioned the truck drivers, I just used Walmart as an example. There's a bunch of the truck driver. When the truck drivers were low, there's a bunch of big stores that had distribution shit. Because remember, Walmart's not just a retail store. Walmart, to be honest with you, Walmart's actually in real estate. That's why you'll see a Walmart pop up and then a Walmart will disappear. Then another Walmart will pop up, then another Walmart will disappear. They actually buy real estate, similar to McDonald's, by the way. But the trucker thing I'm telling you about is because there weren't enough truckers. Now, just similar to if there's not enough people to work the farms. What would happen is they'd have to raise wages to entice people to come work there. If and what I'm in the minimum wage thing, what I'm telling you is this: you can argue about minimum wage all you want, and it's not enough to live on. I'm telling you, they're paying the illegal immigrants less than the minimum wage. So the companies are saving money not having to pay minimum wage. And you're right, the roofing jobs, hell, even going out and picking fucking apples on a field, that shouldn't be a minimum wage job. But unfortunately, sometimes maybe it is. Either way, these big companies are taking advantage of this shit by hiring illegal immigrants to do this labor. And they're
That's
not having to pay
bullshit.
they're not having to pay benefits. They're not having to have all these payroll taxes. They're not having to have any kinds of shit because they're just paying illegal immigrants. And I get you. They get the ETN numbers or whatever the numbers are is where they pay taxes. You're talking about maybe 5% of illegal immigrants that have these numbers.
No, it's
There's a
not.
vast majority
Dude,
of
they
illegal
just put a
immigrants that do
report
not
out on
have these numbers. And when people say that they contribute such a certain amount of money into the tax system, the amount of money it costs to house them in the country is way more than the money that they would pay into the tax system. So it wouldn't matter to sit here and say that they contribute a couple $1 billion to the tax system, but it costs 40 billion to house them. That doesn't make sense. It's still a bad
it.
ratio.
No, that's
And I
actually
don't get
wrong
what
though.
people are
But the
arguing
thing
for
is,
here.
you're making
If
up
you're
numbers.
not working your way to become a legal citizen, then you shouldn't be here. I don't get it. Every single one of us have to pay to be here.
But
Every
you know,
single one of
the
us.
thing is, you're making up those numbers. You're literally making up numbers to make your point sound better. It's way more than 12 billion that they contribute, not only to just taxes, to the GDP as a whole. Number two,
How much does
it's
it cost to
way
have?
more. It's way more. Hold on. It's way more than 5% that pay taxes. And number three, I'm gonna tell you why you don't listen to a man like this. Because you literally have all this inside information of all these businesses who hire undocumented workers under minimum wage is illegal. So why don't you point out these businesses so so the lawsuits can start? Because you can't. You're making it up. If you have this much knowledge of all this illegal activity, why isn't anyone going after them?
What?
Because you got all the knowledge in the world. Go after these businesses that are committing all these illegal activities. You're making this shit up to make your
So you're
point
saying they're
sound good.
paying illegal
Well,
immigrants more than minimum wage?
no, you just said these businesses are paying people under minimum wage. That's
The
what you
illegal
said.
immigrants.
Okay, so if you know, okay, it is illegal to pay anyone under minimum wage.
Agreed.
Undocumented. Okay, so you know of all these businesses doing it. Let us know so we can have the lawsuit start. Which businesses? Let me know. I'll write them down right now. We'll investigate it.
Why
We'll
else would
see
they
why.
hire the illegal immigrants and not American workers? Why else would they do that?
Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, like I said, right now there's a shortage of farmers. Where are the Americans lining up to take these jobs? It's not because they're
He can't.
paying
He
them
can't. He can't
under
answer that
minimum
question
wage.
because I just asked him that question,
Yeah,
and
he's
he
making
gave
it
me a
up.
whole diatribe of bullshit, and he never answered that question.
Yeah, he can't answer it because
I
he
don't
has to
understand
make
what you
it up.
guys are asking here.
Oh, okay. So you
Mike
don't
getting
speak
his ass
English no
whooped
more.
right now.
Why is there a shortage of farmers?
No. If we gotta get rid of the illegal immigrants and replace them with legal people and pay them a fair wage, where you first of all, where you gonna get the money? And then secondly, where you gonna find the people who gonna work for that wage?
So you would rather
Hey, he
have
might
the
be
illegal
waiting for
immigrants work
that
for
people
I
less
mean,
in
just answer
inmates
the question,
hypothetical
Mike.
thing again.
I'm okay. So you got to give it time, I guess. And then if they're not working for the wage you want to pay, then you have to up the wage to incentivize
Stop
people
And
to
then
getting.
come
what
there.
does that happen to the price of food when you start bringing people in from? So most of these farmers, let's just say where these farmers at. The article last I read, the minimum wage where this farmers that were complaining about not having workers is $11 an hour. They were paying the undocumented workers $11 an hour, which was that state's minimum wage. Okay, so if they bring in people now and have to pay them a living wage, which is probably over $20 an hour, 25. I don't know exactly, depending on the state, what their living wage would be considered. So 25, $30 an hour. Explain to me what the hell happens to your price of food.
They don't
Explain
have to
that one
pay them
to
a
me.
living
What
wage.
happened?
They're required to pay a minimum.
Right, but that okay. So that's what I'm talking about. So
He's
if
missing
they
the point,
leave the
JD.
minimum wage at $11, where's the long line of Americans that are going to take these jobs? Where are they at? Because you just said they don't have to pay more than minimum. Okay, so
Well,
they're going to keep it at
that's what I'm
$11
asking
an
you
hour.
guys. So you're
Where's
saying
this
that
long
Americans
list of
won't work them,
Americans
so we
that are
should
going
hire
to apply those
illegals.
jobs? What's that?
I'm just asking you guys. So you're saying Americans won't work these, so we should just hire illegals.
Well, look, it is what it is. I mean,
So
this
That's
that
why I
this
told him,
advocating
JD. I told him
for
that's what the
extortion.
economy
Here
been
you
yeah,
go
like
it
back
for
to this
really
stupid
is.
ass point.
forever.
Here you go back to this stupid ass point, Mike. That's not what nobody's saying. Because you won't answer the question that we asking you. Now you go back to your little silly ass little thing that you're doing right now.
Right.
Hey, and then not only
So
that,
so
do you
so
not know
let's
what's about
answer.
to happen with baby boomers?
Okay, we just gonna
Our
go with the
baby workforce
If
is
understanding
they
of
can
each
not
other.
hire
leaving the
someone for
market.
11 an hour and they can hire someone for 20 an hour, they're obviously going to hire the person for 11 an hour. Obviously,
Mike just
right?
lives in his own fantasy world right now.
Hey,
It's
if
just
he
Right?
hilarious.
falls
I'm
due to
telling you
all
right
this,
now, Mike. I will braid water before I go to work for $11 an hour.
exactly.
Right.
Okay,
Hey,
So
and
we
these
I'm
should
folks
sure
are
a
advocate
lot
for
of
already
just
people,
receiving government
in
assistance.
this country is not gonna work for that, bro. You can't even live off that shit, bro.
right.
Okay,
But guess what?
okay.
$11 an hour when they send that back home to Mexico, that $11 is a whole shit ton of money. If you take a $100 bill and you send it back to Mexico, you know how many
Why
pesos
do
you
you
get?
here?
Okay,
Why do
here,
you
here,
care
here
what
we
he
go
They
says?
again.
I'm
still
being
have to
Here we go.
live,
honest.
though. They still have to live here. Like, that's not making sense, Mike.
What do you mean they have to live here?
You're saying they make $500 a week working on a roof, and they're sending their money back to Mexico to get
They
their
do.
people here. How are they living here? How are they
So
eating
do
here?
I'm only
Like,
going to speak.
that's
I'm
not.
only going to speak from experience here.
Out the
You
trash
know what
can or
happens?
something.
The people down here in
Listen
South
to
Florida,
Mike.
they work all day. They get the whatever money they get. Look. You can say you can. I'm just going to tell you the truth here. I'm just tell you how it works from what I've seen. They get off work. They go. They buy a bunch. They go to a gas station. They get whatever food they can. They get a case of beer and they buy a bunch of calling cards and whatever's. I swear to God, they buy a whole bunch of
Oh
calling
my
cards and then
god.
whatever money's left over, they either Western Union it back or however they send money now. They send all the money back to wherever they live. Now
That's
they
not
all
what
live
she
in
was
like
asking.
these houses. Look, guys, I'm just telling y'all. And then they this is what they do every single fucking day. They buy a whole bunch of calling cards and they send all the money back out of the country. That's what they do. And the
He's
money, when it
right.
gets to the other
So
He's
this
country,
Wait,
right.
man
she
other
asked
sits
you
there and
how
people
they
watches.
get to
living
deal with here.
here.
I'm just telling y'all.
This man sits there and watches out for undocumented workers to
Oh
see
God,
how
you're
they
such a
move.
nerd.
This is the craziest. So how do you know
No,
they're
that's not what I
undocumented?
do.
Number one.
When I
So
go,
you go and ask for their ID. You
are
go
y'all
and
telling
ask
me
for
I'm
their
wrong right
ID,
now?
sir.
Tell me that
Sir,
I'm wrong with what I just said.
you're Hispanic. Let
You're
me see your
fucking
ID.
wrong.
That's what they
Let
do.
me see your ID so I can, I'm trying to mark down what it is you guys do.
Hey, no. The lady asked, how are they making it here? He keep talking about, well, they going to Western Union, they taking the money out and they're sending it back home. But how are they living here? They feeding themselves. How are they roofing themselves? That's what the lady was asking you, and you just went right past that. We don't care. We know they send money back home.
They live in
Nobody
an
cares about that.
apartment. What they do is they'll live in an apartment with like 10 people, one bedroom, and they'll do just what he said. They'll get groceries and buy a 12 pack of beer, and they go to work, and that's what they do, and then they'll wire money back to their family.
We know they send money back to their
See, yeah,
family.
but
See,
that's not. See, you don't even know what you're talking about.
right?
All right, I'm gonna call my
I
undocumented
actually
friend. Say,
do.
oh, so let me guess. You're gonna leave work. You're gonna go to the 7-Eleven, buy some calling cards, get a case of beer, go home, go to sleep, wake up, and do it again. That's what all undocumented people do. Come on, y'all.
That's a blanket
Come on.
statement of bullshit.
Yeah.
It's a lot of them do
Come
that. I'm
on.
not. I'm being serious. Like I'm
So,
not
See,
so how do
see,
you
joking
know?
see,
So you
see.
sit there and watch
because
them
I
too?
live in Northern
Are
California.
you
Like
hanging with
so,
Mike with
yeah.
your telescope?
It's a fact. I mean, not all of them. Some are do different things, but a lot of them do that, and they're very
Hey,
diligent about working, and that's how we've actually grown as an economy. So it's kind of messed up.
so what do white people do every day? Is that they y'all got the same type of routine? Like, white people just wake up and do X, Y, and Z, and then go to sleep. And is that what? Do you know what black people are doing every day when we
They
wake
don't
up
take
to?
their kids to school, quitting. They don't live life. They don't go, they don't have parties every now and then. They
Yeah,
don't do none of that.
they
They
don't
just
go to the
wake up,
park.
work, send all the money to Mexico, get a calling card, get a case of beer, and do it all over again. Come on,
You do
y'all.
it
That's
all over
crazy.
again, Monday through Friday.
What in the hell?
Yes.
Y'all is ridiculous, bro. Now you just know what the immigrants are doing. Oh, down here in Florida, I just know. I can't speak about nobody else, but they don't even fish no more. They just, they just catch the release. That's all. They don't even eat it. Oh my
So you
god.
have
Well,
nothing
y'all
to
gotta
say. So
stop, man.
your
Like,
only
Mike,
y'all
response to
really
that
gotta
was
listen
how
to
happy you
yourselves
were.
making your point.
Mike, you are right, man. The neighborhood that I used to live in, like, I mean, they rented a house for like $1,500 or $1,800, and there are like 15 people living in the house. So you're right. That's how they live. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm just simply
I
pointing out
know,
what happens. Yeah.
right?
No, and a lot of people, not even just undocumented. Yeah, come on. The people that are documented do that. In fact, Hispanics that are
They do,
documented,
sir. But the
other
lady asked
cultures
the
do that. It's
question,
not.
if they're
It's not just
making
an undocumented
$500
thing.
a
It's a
week, how
cultural
do they
thing.
live? And the
No, but it's a
answer is
yeah.
what Mike said. And you guys were laughing at him, saying like, "Oh,
No,
it's
no, no.
how they
He didn't
do."
say that.
But
C said that,
that's
sir.
the truth. I mean, I don't see a
C, yeah,
problem.
but he didn't say that. C said it.
Hey, hold on, JD. Hey, buddy on chat. What's your name?
Robbie.
Cause this is the Three Stooges going on right here, right now. About y'all are really trying to
Oh,
make
I
a
know
blanket
Robbie. Yeah,
statement.
I know Robbie. Robbie.
Yeah, I'm making a
Yeah, that is a
It's
blanket
not
statement.
a
The problem is
blanket
Robbie.
statement,
He
man.
didn't
I'm
say
just
that.
saying, like, that's like, I mean, I saw with
no,
my own eyes.
you're saying the wrong
But
thing. So you're saying you know what these people do every day is not a blanket
Yes, I
statement.
do. I
A whole state
sat
of
with them
people.
and fucking had a beer, bro. Like, I mean, I asked them questions.
Oh my god. You sat with them and had a beer, yeah?
oh my, yeah,
And
this
you
is
just know
crazy.
So
everything about them.
when
They don't
we talk
celebrate
about the
nothing.
experiences, like, it's funny. So you guys don't want the
Oh
answers.
man.
You guys just want to
Hey,
laugh
Guys,
a
but
little
Yeah,
that's
but
bit.
just
hey,
it,
so
it
random,
when you
don't it
bro.
sat with
doesn't
black,
it doesn't explain how that's helping them become an American citizen.
That I
If you
don't
sending
know, big man.
if
Denver
they,
knows that.
if you were working every day and you sending your money back to Mexico and all your money going to Mexico and obviously you want to be in Mexico, so how is that helping you be American citizen?
Big man, I don't know. I was just
What?
answering the question that I mean, Mike said, man. Like, I mean, that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know all the answers, you know?
Oh,
No,
oh,
they're
I think
sending
we
their money back to Mexico. This is
you
what they're
didn't
saying
know
here.
this one either. Trust me. You
Hey,
did.
what time do they eat? What time, like around what time do they eat and take
Mm,
the shit?
yeah,
Like,
next
come
time
on, y'all,
I'll make the
God.
notes, man, and then I'll send it to you. Don't worry about it.
yeah, because I generally believe that the people who come over here want to be here and want to stay here, right? That's the thing, right? When you come here,
Then
you want to
why
be
would
here.
they come
There,
over here through the legal process?
Mike, obviously everybody can't just do it overnight, Mike.
No.
If it was that
Hold on.
easy,
Hold on.
everybody would be doing it, right? Can we get on the same page today? If it was that easy, everybody would do it.
It's super easy.
All right.
Okay,
I don't
okay,
know if it
Mike.
was
Okay,
Diego or
You
That's
whoever else
come
was
about
in
through
here
a
it.
okay,
port
earlier
of
on
entry. Yes,
Clubhouse
it's super
okay,
easy.
who told
okay.
you they was dealing with the cartels and killing them. People was dying. So
If you're
obviously they
worried about
didn't
the
have time
cartels,
to
you should
stop
go to
by
the
and fill
ports of
out
entry where
paperwork.
the authorities are.
Yep. Hey, Q, I'll tell you this. There's two ladies that I talked to. They work at the McDonald's across the street from my place. Okay,
Hmm.
they've been there for a while now, and I went in there one day. I spoke to them, and Ozzy, a person I knew, introduced me to him. That's how I was able to speak to him. I didn't just walk up to him and just started asking. But we got into the conversation, and I did ask them kind of, what drew them over here. Okay, these two ladies, they're working at McDonald's. Okay, they are undocumented, or not. I'm not even saying undocumented. They came over with the wave of asylum seekers. But I asked them what brought them this way. Okay, these two ladies both were lawyers, and they're in Guatemala. Both were lawyers. Okay, and the reason they said they had to get out is because literally they were being forced to give up 75% of their check every 2 weeks. They
Mm.
were being forced to do it. They had enough. They had to get out. Okay, when people are going through that shit, yeah, it's easy for you to say, oh, yeah, why don't you just go through the process? That's because you're nice and comfortable here. When people are going through shit and hell in these other countries, like I said, it's easy for all of us to sit here and say, well, why don't y'all just wait in line? Just suck it up, suck that shit up for another, 5 years, suck it up, and then we'll get you through the process. It doesn't work like that. People are going through hell in some of these countries. They're not just coming over. Now, do some of them come over for better opportunity and then maybe not necessarily in dire danger? Yes, it happens. People want to leave for opportunity. Shit, life isn't that long. We all know life is short. Tomorrow's not promised. So yeah, some people will. Like, shit, I need to take that chance. We can't understand that because, like I said, we sit here all, we're comfortable. We can't understand a person that knows what their capability is, but I have no damn opportunity here. And this process, you all think the process is easy. It's not, because if it was easy, we would never be talking about we need to fix our immigration system if it was that damn easy. The reason everyone always says the immigration system needs to be fixed is because it's a shit show. It's an absolute shit show. That's why so
Exactly.
many people are crossing over. So it's easy for us to sit here in the comfort of our homes here in America when people, and I know people go through struggles here, and I got that. But like I said, if I guarantee you, if some people here in America that is going through a really shitty time, if they knew of an opportunity to go to another country and be well off, trust me, our people would be running out of here too. They would be
Exactly.
doing that shit too. They would be a fucking immigration system. I need to get out. Life is short. I don't have 10 years to try to make this shit work. I need this shit now. I'm 30, I'm 40, I'm 50. I need this now. I don't have another 5 to 10 years to wait for some immigration system. That's easy for Americans to say that, right? It's easy for us to sit here in the comfort of our homes to say that. It's really easy.
Now, and let me make this one point before y'all go make a speak on chatter is, Mike, JD, correct to what you said, because Mike says, imagine you going through all this drama, and Mike says, well, it's only, you gotta wait 10 years to get your green card to be a citizen. So I gotta suffer with the cartel getting extorted, or my life threatened, my family life threatened for 10 years to follow the law just to get in. And then the other thing is, it's so crazy that majority of this conversation is focused on the southern border, and no, they have not brought one struggle or main issue to the motherfuckers that, excuse my language, to the people that fly in here all the time and they have expired visas, and they don't make a fuss about none of them, coming from the European areas and everything. Oh, you coming from the southern border? Well, all this, get them out of here now. They gonna wait across the border, and they take go ahead. I don't see why they can't just fill out the paperwork and wait 10 years. But then you got people flying in, mostly Europeans, and they expire their visas. There is no rush ever, no conversation. It's like they don't even exist about putting no pressure on them about y'all going, taking y'all butts back home.
That
There,
actually is not true. There's a lady actually that I saw on the news. She was
I don't
detained.
want to hear a one off.
No,
It's
she
anecdotal.
no, she was a woman from Vancouver, and her visa, she had a work visa, and she came and she actually was on the news today. She's talking about it because she was actually renewing her visa, and she got retained, arrested for 12 days, and she was from Vancouver, and she had a work visa, and she was trying to get another visa for another company she was working for health, and she ended up getting arrested and detained, and she was from Vancouver. So I just want to make sure that there's more things going on than I think we're aware of. So before you, I'm just
Yeah, but you're going off
open your eyes.
topic. Like you
Hey,
just went.
Well,
hey,
someone mentioned that earlier. The visa, get them the fuck out too. I'm with that. I'm with that.
hey,
If you overstay your
hey,
visa, get the
Quentin,
fuck out. I don't care where you
what
came from. I said the same
what's the
thing.
largest illegal population? Is it from our southern borders the largest illegal population of immigrants? Where are they coming from? Where have they come from?
They
The
Like
from
large
country wise,
the area. Well, is it Central America? Is it somebody say Europe, East Europe, West Europe? Is it Asia? What? Do we know?
I don't.
Seems like they're coming from everywhere.
It's Asia. It's Asia. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's Asia. We're on the southern border. Quint mentioned you're looking at the southern border and there's others. The actual largest population of illegal aliens come from Asia. And as somebody mentioned, we ain't raising no hell, and we at war's door with China. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, look, I don't know if you're an illegal immigrant, whether you overstayed a visa or you came across illegally. If you're an illegal immigrant, you got to go. I don't care where you're from. Every other country in the world works like this. Like there's not a single country in the world where you just get to go there, and they're like, even when you go there, right? What are you here for? Business or pleasure? How long are you going to be here? And when it's time for you to go, get the fuck out. Every country in the world operates like this. I don't understand why you guys have such a problem with our country not operating like that. And everyone brings up, well, they're escaping
Because we've
hell.
never
They're escaping
operated
this.
like that.
They're garnishing 75% of their check from these countries they come from. Yeah, that's a fucking bullshit ass country. It's a good thing. Yeah, you're right. I wish every country in the world operated like ours. It's a fucking awesome fucking place to live. It's like, would you guys advocate for how great of a place this is to live? I bet you wouldn't. But you're going to
Language.
advocate because they're
Bing don't
coming from
like all that
shithole
cussing.
countries and they're coming to live here. And you're like, well, let them stay here because they have better opportunity here. Yeah, no shit. It's a great fucking place to live. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I got to pay to live here. Like, I don't get it.
Aww.
Every country in the world
Mike, my
operates like that.
baby. Mike, my baby got to pay to live here, y'all. Pressure.
What?
I'm talking about you just whining. That's what I was talking about.
You don't agree that every country in the world operates like that?
I don't know. I haven't been to every country in the world. You know, I don't make blanket
He just want to
statements.
live
And
free.
I wouldn't be taking your
The
advice
man just
because,
want to live free, y'all. Get off his back. He want to get all them benefits.
Oh, welfare, the welfare queen type thing.
yeah, I would have to look it up before I take your word for it, because I've literally just heard you on stage make up bullshit to make your point sound good. So
Like
your
which? Like which part?
credibility is zero.
Hey, imagine going to different countries. Like Mike from Chatter told me that I could
Yeah.
just
You know you're making that shit up. You know you're making shit up on the top
Making
of
what
your head.
up?
You know you're doing it.
Making what up?
all your statements, you just
Name
talking out
one.
the side of your neck. Well, if I say all your
That
statements, I'm making a blanket
Let's start.
statement.
95%
Let's
of
start at
As
number one.
undocumented workers
all
don't
your
pay
statements.
taxes. That was
I
number
said they
one.
have
You can't
EIN
show me
numbers.
any
All I said is
document
that
on
the
that.
majority of
You
them
made it
is
up.
the majority
No,
of them
you
do not
literally
have
said
those
only
numbers. The
5%.
majority of them don't have it. And you're not going to tell me that over 50% of illegal
Replays are
immigrants
on.
are paying taxes.
Replays
They're
are on.
not. You're wrong.
8 point something of the 11 million pay 59 billion. What do you pay?
Do you know how
2 cents, and
much
you
it
get some
costs
money
to
back.
house
You
them
said
here?
12
Do
billion before.
you? Do you? Do you? Are you
Yes,
paying
I
their
do.
housing? You ain't paying nobody's housing, not even your own.
You don't
I
think I
thought
have
they
a
were all
mortgage?
living together,
You don't
15
think I
to a
have a
house.
mortgage?
I thought they
Get
were all living together, 15 to a house.
him,
That's
baby.
what you said
Get him.
earlier.
He's paying
I
for
didn't say that.
15
Robbie
people
said
to
that,
live
and
in
he's
a
right about
house.
that. There is a lot of places where
Oh,
I mean,
Robbie
dude,
said
you can look at
you
the
said
raids.
it.
They'll
See,
go
I
into a
tried
raid
to
and
tell
there'll be like
Robbie that
19
he.
people living
Wait,
there.
wait.
But you're
Repeat that,
talking
because
out of both
Robbie was
sides of your
rolling his
mouth,
eyes.
Mike.
I'm not. Oh my
You
gosh,
are.
yo!
You absolutely are,
I
sir. And
absolutely am
and
not.
I got to call
Thank
it
you for
out. You
correcting
are.
Robbie.
Wait, okay. Do you guys think that like Ben? You guys think that like when it comes to resources that are due to the resources that we're talking about, you have okay. If they have a kid, they send the kid to a public school. Is that not a resource? Is that not a resource they're benefiting from? If they live in a community and the community is being policed by police officers, is that not a benefit? Is that not a resource they're benefiting
Then
from?
that
If
means
they
that
do
school
stuff,
gets more
if
government
they go and they
funds.
use
That
stuff in the
school gets
community,
more
if they
federal
drive on the
funds,
roads, is
though.
that not a resource they're
That
benefiting
school
from?
gets more
There's all
federal
kinds of
funds if
resources
that's
that
the
don't have
case.
monetary value that they are benefiting from.
I swear to God,
Oh,
this is
Do y'all not
crazy. The
They
understand
don't
schools
get
this?
get more
Social
federal funds
Security,
per
but you
student.
do.
So if they have more students going to that school, they get more federal
When they
funds. You
close
paying for the
down
kids to go
multiple
to school.
schools in
But
a
you're not.
community, and then
But
all of a
you
sudden they
good
are,
open
but
a
you're
point,
school up
not.
out
April.
of
But you are,
nowhere,
but you're not. You're not making sense.
And Mike, there you go making blanket statements again. Now, what's the process? What's the process of that? You said now they just closing down schools out of nowhere. You know, where you
there
getting
have
that
been
from?
schools that have been closed down for a long time
Uh
when kids from that community were being bused to other places miles and miles and miles away. Then all of a sudden there was an influx of illegal immigrants
and it
into
was
a certain community, and they would all of a sudden just now open the school up, or they would close. In New York, they closed a whole athletic field complex. The kids didn't even get to have their fucking seasons, whether it's soccer, football, whatever it was. Closed the entire athletic field complex and built a giant migrant
That's
center.
because
Now, they
Texas.
build any
That's
houses?
because
They
Poor
build any
Texas
housing centers for
baby.
the
decided
homeless
to
in that community?
busload
Did they build any housing centers
to
for the homeless
certain
there?
Oh,
Did they
cities.
give
cry
any of
me a
the
river.
homeless hotel rooms? Did the homeless get hotel rooms?
Oh, cry me
No,
a
the homeless didn't get
river.
hotel
Cry me a
rooms. The
river.
illegal immigrants got hotel
Guess
rooms.
what?
The
The
illegal
homeless
immigrants
You
got
still not
can't
fucking
getting
get
hotel
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 rooms.
rooms.
That's
rooms.
the problem. You
Are
can't
those
go
not
on vacation and get a
resources?
hotel room, and it's a legal person's fault,
Hey,
not your
when did
fault.
when did the homeless ever get hotel rooms?
Exactly.
They're not getting it now. See, I hate when y'all use that
Exactly.
excuse. Oh, that money should be used for the homeless and the veterans. Guess what? The veterans are still getting treated like shit under Trump. The
Exactly.
homeless are still on the street. So now that we're not using all this money for immigrants, why are the homeless still on the street? Why aren't they in hotel rooms? Can you
Exactly. That's a
explain
great
that to me?
question. Now all of a sudden, Chicago
because
out of
they
nowhere has
don't
got
Exactly, because
matter.
it's
$150
They
million,
storage.
don't
$100 million.
matter
New
unless
York's
they're
got
up against
$98 million
immigrants.
out of
That's
nowhere
what it
when they
is.
kept saying the coffers were empty. We can't afford to help any of you
Hey,
guys. The
hey,
coffers are empty.
hey,
Coffers are empty.
Mike,
So
Mike.
now
The
they got
fact that
$100
you
million
think that that
out
money
of
was going to
nowhere.
go to the homeless or the poor anyway, you're silly as hell. They wanted to Ben gave it to him. They could have Ben gave it to him, but you're in here whining and crying about. But they gave it to the immigrants. Like, why do they deserve a hotel? I wanted to stay in there. I can't afford it, but they can still afford it. Like, well, why do you
They didn't even
you
pay
give a
for it.
fuck? Oh, so there he go again,
They did. They gave. Why are
whining.
you fucking dude? What? Do you realize how silly you sound right now? They didn't make the illegal immigrants
Oh,
didn't pay
you
for
don't.
it. Why did
You
they use the
You
sound.
hear
hotel
how
rooms
You
for the
silly?
don't
homeless?
sound
Why?
silly.
Did you want to stay in that hotel, Mike?
What?
Did you have plans to stay in that hotel
If
that
I
they
Mike
was
was in?
did. He
homeless,
can't afford the
No, right now in
Super
your
8.
life, right
I'm
now, are
not
you? Did
homeless.
you want to stay in that hotel? I didn't say you had to be. I'm
If
asking
I was
because you
homeless,
whining
yes, I'd like
about
to stay
a
in a hotel. If I
room
was
that
homeless,
immigrants got to stay in for 30 to 90 days because
yeah.
they got
Why haven't
shipped
they been
from
helping homeless
Texas
people out
to up
like that?
north. But I'm asking you, did you have plans to stay in that certain hotel with your family on going on a family trip, whatever? You just want to stay. I'm asking you. It's like a
No. The answer would
hotel.
be no.
Okay, so then why are you crying
Okay.
about it
Why
then?
can't they put that homeless person in that hotel?
Jesus.
I can't, dude. I
At
answered you, bro. I'm being
at
real
this
here. You asked
point,
me a
you're
question. I
not
said
making
no.
any
Now
sense.
answer
You're
my
really
fucking
not
question.
making any
Why
sense.
couldn't they put that
If
homeless person in that
wait a
hotel?
minute, if
Why couldn't they take over
no,
athletic
if
fields and
you're
build a
They're
giant
not
planning,
shelter
using
for
the
homeless
hold
people?
on a
hotel.
Why couldn't they
second.
build a
They're
giant
not.
shelter for
Hold
homeless
on, hold
people?
on,
Why not?
Yeah,
hold
because
on.
you know
Oh
the
my
Hold on,
problem.
God,
hold on.
You
We
know the
got hold
Justin.
problem with that
on.
statement, Mike.
If
And I don't
you
know you that well, but
no no
I
no.
feel like if they would have put the homeless people in that hotel, I feel like you would have a problem with that too.
He
Why would I
absolutely
have a
would.
problem
He
with
would have
that?
been out in the
I
street
feel like
crying and throwing
go
rocks
ahead.
at the homeless people for getting to stay in a hotel. He know he would.
So what's y'all's argument here? So you're basically saying, well, if they did that, you'd have a problem too. No, I wouldn't. So
I
now I
bet you
just
he
debunked your
does.
entire
I
argument.
bet
No,
you
I
he
wouldn't.
throws
So now
rocks
what?
at the homeless.
Yeah, I just think that you would. I think
He
Well, you're
you
wrong.
does.
one of them.
Well, you're wrong. I'm telling you, you're wrong. You can think
I
as fuck
think
as you
you
like,
one
but
of
you're
them
wrong.
people that got a problem with the welfare system. The problem with I think you just have a problem with people who just can't help themselves. You know, because
You
that's
see
what
the
it
homeless
seems
person.
like.
He's like yuck.
I
He's
literally
like
just said to you,
ugh
why
yuck.
wouldn't they put homeless people in there instead of illegal immigrants?
Hey, don't
Because you
homeless
voted
people.
against
What are
it.
y'all
You
doing
voted
right
Right,
against
now?
it
right.
in your community.
We're listening to your
What
bullshit.
literally?
When have you advocated for the homeless in your community? I want to know. I want some
I
receipts.
go to I when have I advocated for the homeless in my community? Are you serious right now? I do anything I
Hey,
can to
she
help the
asked you a
homeless in my community.
question.
What do you want me to do? You want so you what like is the only thing to help the
You
homeless is open up my
can't.
doors to them?
You
I
can't
go to
help the
soup kitchens.
homeless in your
I actually take my
community.
kids to volunteer so they can understand this stuff. I give people when I see a homeless person, I don't give them money. I
He
give them
does
food.
not.
They don't want if they give them money, they go and they make it worse, and they go and they want to serve up money and
Oh,
buy
how do
crack
you
and
know
shit. And they're in
Volunteer.
that?
that
Now,
situation.
another
They
blanket
need to
statement
volunteer.
from
Now,
you,
You're
I
a
Mike.
told
Stop
you're
y'all.
a
What
doing
are
I
you
worker.
that.
basing
told
this
you.
You
off
need to
of? I do what I
volunteer.
can to help anyone that I see in
Mike,
need based
stop
off my
doing blanket
beliefs.
statements. Stop doing that. So you know what a homeless person gonna do with their money if you give it to them every single time, like they're all on drugs or they're all just drug addicts. That's
Well,
the
let me
only
ask
reason they're on the
well,
fucking
because I've
street.
been in
You keep
situations
making
where
those blanket statements, and you
the person
seem
would.
like an ass when you do it.
Oh, I've literally been in these situations. Let me
He's
ask you
talking
that: have
about
you been in a situation
veterans.
like this
Veterans
where
are he
I'm
can't
at a
give them
Burger King
money.
and the dude's asking for money? He's got an envelope full of pennies. Oh, they won't take my pennies. They won't take my pennies. They won't take my pennies. I'm like, well, what do you want, dude? I'll buy you something. He's like, well,
Mike,
I just want to get it. So I hand the dude a $5 bill. He walks right out of the Burger King. Walks right out. I'm
Mike,
like,
Full of
oh
so
fuck,
what?
shit.
I
bro.
don't
No,
So
care
that's why the
about
next
your
time, and
think,
answer.
I
you know what
think,
I learned from that? Hold on, you know what I learned from that?
no,
The
you
next
hold
time that
on.
happened,
Mike,
I bought
Mike,
them a Whopper.
breathe,
I didn't give them
breathe,
$5. I bought them a
He
Whopper.
bought them water.
You
Breathe,
hit it,
Mike,
lady.
breathe. Just inhale and
You guys aren't
exhale.
making any sense right now. I'm
No,
literally telling you.
No, you.
you're getting really worked up, and we're
Why
just
wouldn't they give
talking.
these hotel rooms to homeless people? Why wouldn't they do that? That's all I
Because
asked you.
You
I
know.
don't think
because if they
anyone
do,
here
they
has
might
the
have drug
answer to
parties
that.
there. They might have drug
Well, they
parties
gave them to
there.
illegal migrants.
They might have drug parties there. The homeless, you know how they are.
Wait, hold on. So,
Right.
well,
You
so
know,
I said they
hold
use
on.
the
You just
money for
made a
crack.
statement
You said
about
they're
the
going to use it for
homeless
drug parties, but that's
all
okay.
on drugs. But you made a statement about the homeless all on drugs, and now you wondering why they don't want to give them hotels. See, the thing about the migrants was they was sent from Texas up to New York, where it is super cold, and most probably ain't even dressed to be in New York in the wintertime,
Yeah.
and they gave up some hotels, but they only got to stay in those hotels for what, 30 days to 90 days, and you're crying about that.
Look,
No, he rather them stayed on the street and freeze to death.
Yeah,
That's what
you
he
know,
wanted.
Mike, you see the homeless and you think,
so
like
the homeless
why are
aren't on
you
the streets
here? Like
freezing
why
to
are you
death?
down bad? A guy had a bag full of pennies, and instead of me just taking the pennies, I just gave him $5, but he didn't buy no food. He walked out, and so I made that assumption and said, you know what? All homeless people are gonna take the money
Wow.
and run off
He
and go
ran out
buy
to Burger
drugs.
King
Cause
across the street to the liquor
You
store.
I'm a
purposely try.
mind
Well, y'all
reader.
just said they're going to throw
Yeah.
drug parties in the hotel.
They
Oh
were
my
being
God.
I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have
facetious.
been.
So was
Oh
I.
my God, he
No,
doesn't get it.
you
Bless his
What I
weren't.
was
He
telling
heart.
you is
don't
that when
even
I
get
get the next
what
time that I
He
had that
don't.
situation happen to me,
We
instead of me
are
giving
we
the
are
guy
arguing
$5
with
bills,
someone without
I'd
the
buy him a Whopper.
capacity.
Like, no, bro,
He
you're
doesn't
not gonna
have the
trick me to get
capacity
cash
for
out of
this
me.
oh
conversation.
dear.
Same thing I do when I see someone
Obviously,
at a gas
yeah,
station.
yeah.
Hey man, can I have some cash so I can get some gas? I'm like, yo, pull your car up here. I'll put my card in the pump and I'll give you
He's
$10 of gas. So like, well, I
lying.
can really use
Listen to
cash.
this
Oh
Hey, you want
my
to
lie.
know what's
God. Do
No,
you
funny,
I
want
can
a
really
y'all?
use
pat on the
cash. I'm like, yeah,
back?
you're not
He
getting me.
ain't.
Y'all
Pull
want to
your
know what's
car up
He
here.
funny?
ain't putting
I'll
I
give you
gas
bet
gas.
in nobody's car. You
you.
full of shit.
All these people claim to be Christians. All these people who fight this hard on the immigration issue all claim to be Christians. Like somewhere in the Bible it says, you know what? Divide the borders and treat your fellow man like shit because they're not from the United States. That's crazy to me. These
What's
Crazy.
fake
wrong with
Christians,
you?
these people are Christians, a fake religion. It's ridiculous.
I'm the one up here
You are
saying that you should not
deplorable.
exploit cheap labor
Shame
and
on
illegal
you,
immigrants. That's
mister.
literally what I'm saying.
You've never volunteered in your life. You're an idiot, you're ignorant, and you're acting like, look, you should be happy right now. You got what you wanted, right? Like you don't care about other people. It's very clear you've not volunteered for other organizations. It is very obvious. And you don't even have your facts right about what you're talking about.
What's wrong with what I'm saying?
They did not
Go ahead.
stay, the immigrants did
Well,
not stay in the
Everything.
hotels.
you're
All
The
of it.
immigrants
you're
did not
putting
stay in the
groups
hotels.
of
They used
people.
hotels
You're putting
to
groups of
facilitate
people
shelters for them.
under a blanket statement,
No, I'm
and
not.
that's not you. You are. You
No, I'm not.
Thank
absolutely
you,
are. You put
young
everybody that
king.
you're speaking to right now that we're all so under a rock, we've never ran across a homeless person begging for money and seen them not spend money on the food. You
But
literally
that's
said that. I bet none of
what?
you, I bet every one of us have. Seriously,
Right.
Mike.
We are.
Come on
Well,
now.
okay. If you saw a homeless person and they were saying they're hungry and you said, "Look, I
I
have a
see homeless people every
right."
time I leave my house, Mike.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm not saying you don't. I'm
Mike,
Mike
saying
you're
think he
treating
doing a
you're
one-off
treating
a
you're
thing.
situation where
treating
you'd rather give them
homeless people
cash
and
or food.
immigrants like animals. Like you're treating homeless people and immigrants like animals. Like when you
What?
give a squirrel a nut, this is how they behave. Listen,
Yeah.
when you give a squirrel a nut, this is what they do with it. When you give a goose some bread, when you throw out breadcrumbs for birds, they all flock to it. That's exactly what you're doing. You
What?
know exactly how homeless people move. You know exactly how immigrants move, just like I know how squirrels move and birds move when I throw bread out the
Oh my
window
God,
for
bro!
them to flock
I
to
am
me.
telling you
That's
this. If I
exactly
see a
what you're
homeless
doing.
person,
That's
I would much rather
exactly
give
what
the
you're
homeless
doing.
person food than give them a $20 bill. I'd rather give them
Mike,
food. Now, if they say I don't
nobody
want your food,
Dude,
cares
just
just
give me a
put
about
$20
a
that.
bill,
muzzle on your
I'd say, yeah,
mouth.
get bit because you're going to take that $20 bill and it's going to be detrimental to your life. So here, have some
How
food.
do you know that? That's again, you did it
What are
again.
they
I'm
going to
gonna
do
keep
with the
calling it
twenty
out every
dollars,
time you
bro?
do it, Mike. Every time you do it, I called it out every time, and you keep saying, "What?
And
What am I
I'll
talking
tell them,
about? What do
What
you
do you
mean?"
think they're going to do
I
Q,
with the
keep
twenty
pointing it
you
dollars?
out.
can go
You
on
If
make
they're
TikTok,
telling you they're
Mike, you
blanket
can
hungry,
go on
if they're
social
statements.
saying I need
media.
money for food,
Mike,
and I'm like, well,
you
here's
can go
food
on
right now.
social media right
Here, come
now.
with me,
You
bro.
can go on social
I've had
media right
situations
now and
where I've
look it
asked
up.
people, I was like, yo, come with me. We'll go to this local place and I'll buy you food.
You ain't nobody savior,
And
Mike.
they're
Nobody want
I
to
ain't
come with
going
you.
so
nowhere
you're
with
gonna ask
you.
me what I do for
Who
people. Then
you
when I tell you what I
is?
do, you're gonna say you're not a
People,
savior.
beware.
This
Don't
shit
And
go
when the
nowhere with
sounds
person
this
comes with
man.
stupid
me
as
and I
hell
give them
now.
food, they take the food.
Yeah,
But
it
if a
is.
person's like, I don't want the food, give me the
Oh my
$20.
god.
I'm like, yeah, get bit because you're just
So
trying
what
to
are
Dude,
you, a
trick
get
them
a
to give
pastor
you
now,
grip.
cash so
That's
you
Mike?
can go
not
get high.
true.
Because if
Oh,
you
I'm
really want
Pastor
sorry.
food,
Mike,
Like
come
that's
with
the
me.
street
I'll
that
buy
you live
you
at.
food.
Dude, get a grip.
Pastor Mike. So you know what every single homeless person is going to do if you
If they're
don't
saying they're hungry and they
if you
want
don't get if
food,
you
and
give them money.
I'm offering them food, and they say no, give me the 20 instead, then yes, they're not really hungry.
So just let's say that's your preference to do that. That's
Are y'all?
cool.
Is this a
But
joke
don't
right
stop
now?
making a
Mike,
blanket
Hey,
statement
Mike,
that
Mike,
you
what if the
know what
homeless
you've got to
every
person
let
ate
other
single
already?
people
person's going to
speak.
do.
This is being
Yeah.
recorded, and we need to hear everyone. Please let other people speak.
Hey, Mike, what if the homeless people ate already? I mean, how many times can a homeless person eat?
Then they wouldn't be asking for food.
Okay,
I need
but
another
Mike,
burger.
but bottom line is, look, if you're that invested in that, you can literally go on social media. There's plenty of stories on social media where people have given money to someone homeless, and they literally took the money and bought a shitload of stuff for other people, like in their, if they're sleeping like in tents or something, they have like a tent city. They'll literally take that money and they'll go buy a shitload of stuff and bring it to all the people that live in tent city. It's not the blanket
That's
statement
a
is,
great
it's a
person. It's
little
not a
bit
blanket. I'm
crazy.
not making any blanket statements, bro. I'm just telling you.
Yes,
No, I'm
Mike.
not.
You only
No,
thing
I'm
you've been
not.
making is blanket statements.
Those hotels and those big shelters that New York built would have been better for the homeless people than for illegal immigrants. They could have built those shelters decades ago for all the homeless people there. They could have given hotel rooms like sporadically to homeless people, especially in the wintertime. Let
Coulda,
those
shoulda,
hotels. But
woulda,
no,
never have,
y'all
never
You
instead
guys
are
are
will.
giving
having a
hotels to
utopian argument.
understand what you guys are
Well,
saying
jump
here.
on, jump.
The point is, Mike, is
Oh,
that it does. We all have the freedom to choose whether or not we hand money to homeless people that we run into in our lives, and
Agreed.
we all have the right to choose whether we care what they do with the money or not. This
100%.
argument is like going around the mulberry bush.
Agreed. Well, this whole thing started when I mentioned New York building homeless shelters, or no, I'm sorry, building migrant shelters and taking over the whole athletic field complex. It was like 6 fields where all these. I think it was like during it was the spring athletic seasons, whatever. So it'd be like the kids. It was like it's for kids like fourth grade through like seventh grade. So what's that like? 6, 7 year olds all the way up to like 10, 11, 12 year olds. So it was all their seasons, whatever it would be, soccer, the flag football, little pee wee football, whatever it would be. That was canceled because they built a giant migrant encampment. And they gave them shelter. They had electricity in each one of the rooms. They gave them food. They gave them everything. And what all I said was this:
did
why
you
couldn't
see
they
what
have built
them
that
spots
shelter
look like?
decades ago for homeless? Why all of a
Mike,
sudden
I'm
did
just
they
gonna
just
say this,
build
and
it now?
Mike. Let me say this, and I'm gonna land for the night. It's just these what ifs with you, because like I said, it's easy to say all the money that was spent on immigrants. Why didn't we use that money to house the homeless? And that, like I said, we
Joe
haven't been
Biden
doing that.
needed
And guess
votes.
what? We're not spending the money now, right? For the most part on immigrants, we're still not doing it. We're still not doing it. Not just New York, the entire country. It's not happening. It's not happening, right? Vets aren't being taken care of like they should be, right? We've heard these arguments. Why are we giving all these money to immigrants, but we don't take care of our vets and we don't take care of our homeless? Guess what? Okay, we're still not doing it. And guess what? We didn't do it. We haven't done the past 8 years. We haven't done the past 10. We haven't been doing it. So that's a whole
Right.
other argument. But that's a whole other argument.
Why not though?
It's not because we spent money on immigrants. It's beyond that.
But why
It's
not?
not because we just spent money on immigrants. Ask your Congress people. Shit.
That's what I'm asking, dude. I've been to the VAs, bro. I used to volunteer time at VAs. Where I used to work. We'd have the copy machines that had to be delivered to VAs. The VAs are fucking disastrous. And when I walk into a VA, I'm like, yo, seriously? This is what our
You
veterans are
did
living
what
like. The
at the
VAs are
VA?
fucking garbage. Why are we not using these funds to improve the VAs
He been
to give the veterans their
everywhere. He
benefits?
like
You did
Why are
Forrest,
we
the
not
Forrest
doing that?
Yeah,
Gump.
you
he
He's the Forrest Gump of
as a
charity.
veteran, huh?
You think the
yeah,
VAs
Chad.
are where they
You
should
say,
be with how to
Chad,
take
that
care of veterans? You think
yeah,
those VAs
because of
are
the
up to
immigrant money
par?
we spent on immigrants.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Right. Why
But
are we not using the money for that?
the thing about it, I mean, no, your like account is like you've been there, or you hear about it. But so do you think that veterans were treated better under Biden or Trump?
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Do you think veterans were treated better under Biden or Trump
I
at
would.
the
I
VA?
mean, the answer would be neither. They're not. They're treated bad. They've been treated bad. The funds.
Then you don't know what you're talking about, sir.
You're trying to make me pick one or the other. The answer is veterans are not treated the way they should be.
Mm, I'm a veteran.
Thank you for your service.
And what,
Nah, I appreciate it.
Mike, you are speaking to someone that's very near and dear to my heart. So watch how you speak to her. Okay.
I said thank you for your service. I mean that. Thank you for your service.
Is that
And the
my
veterans need
shirt?
to be treated better.
Okay. So guys over here on CH, we're about to close this room and transition over to chatter only. So if you need a chatter invite, let us know in the chat. And I'm gonna close the room down in about a couple of seconds. You need an invite, see? Okay. Let me get you one, sugar.
Oh look, I just
Okay.
real quick and thank you, Chad, because I was so about to bounce because Mike just in his own fucking world. But to the brother that's on Chatter, he had said my name earlier. I just want to know what is your name, brother? I think they're calling you Big Man, but I don't know if that's your real name or just maybe your.
Oh, it's big man.
Oh, it's Big Man. Oh, shout out to Big Man and everybody else sticking up for what I said over there on Chatter, and a young lady too. I don't know who that
It's
was, but shout out to
Tina.
them.
It's Tina.
Tina, shout out to
That's
Tina.
Tina, my
Thank you.
baby.
Okay. All right. Y'all stay blessed.
All right. There are 3 invites to chatter, guys, in the chat. So click it and save it, Robbie and C, because I am closing the room. Thank you guys for joining us. Oh, don't forget to listen to today's episode on all of your podcasting platforms. Okay, I'm saying yeah, but I'm not typing that. But thank y'all for joining us. I'm about to close the room in 3, 2, 1.